I'm gonna pour a drink.
Oh, I forgot to pour, or I forgot to get all the edits and stuff ready for the live, so I have no links or anything. But we are live. Hopefully, it's working. I have the red light. What is happening, Fish and friends? Welcome to another live. A fun Saturday night followed by a Friday that was quite eventful. I had tornadoes all around me. A tornado like 8 minutes from my house, touchdown. Then there was another one like 25, 30 minutes from my house, touchdown. Like
Wow.
2 minutes from where my dad works, which was insane. So thankfully there was very little damage. I think there was some damaged houses, but nobody, I don't think, was hurt. Not that I heard. So
I saw some of the videos, and those tornadoes were like really big. Like that one that was down in Arkansas.
There was one that was massive.
Yeah, the one, I think it's the one in Arkansas, was nuts.
Yeah. I allegedly was outside recording it.
Yeah, you're one of those
posting it to Instagram.
My wife and I were talking. I'm like, who the hell is outside doing this? I'm like, why are they not in their basement? And Randy texts me. He's like, I hope you're okay. I'm like, oh my God, I barely just saw this. I'm sorry. It's like 45 minutes later. He's like, oh yeah, I'm fine. I was out filming it. I'm like, you're one of those people. Like, get your butt inside, damn it.
I was out there.
So anyway, we're not here to talk about tornadoes. We're here to talk about fishing. So we got a friend of the channel, Mr. Punch on. Sir, how are you?
Awesome, man. We up here in Minnesota, the exact opposite of your weather. We just got about 9 to 12 inches of snow last night.
Are you serious? Ooh.
Yeah, it's brutal. Like it's back to total whiteout. The yard was almost showing. We almost saw our yards for a whole couple days, and then everybody. So here was my Facebook feed this morning. When I opened it up, Facebook at about 9 a.m., pictures of everyone's snow in their driveways and decks, and then everyone was depressed. Like everyone in Minnesota went to bed able to see their lawns, and then woke up and there was a foot of snow, and everyone's like, "Mother."
That's a bad S word. That's another bad S word that I don't want to hear any more of this year. Spring is already taking forever to get here. Like, come on, Mother Nature, let's get with it. Yeah. Oh, so of course, always thank you to the members like Mr. Scott Vermonter, Cooler Lid, Lost in Tackle, Brendan. Hey, Brendan, how are those eyes coming? Did you get your eye guru guy to hook me up with those eyes yet? What's up with that? Matthew,
hey, Debo, you don't want to ask me about my weather and stuff like that?
Well, no, because you're out chasing tornadoes, and I'm not going to promote that. Damn it! Sit inside in your basement. So tonight, questions. I figured I would let chat run a lot of this. Now we're going to kick it off on Punch and I were just talking beforehand. Randy's flipping underwear on the underwear market, and we got talking about Uncle Josh's pork trailers. Apparently, Punch was saying there was people. I guess I don't know if you call it scalping, but flipping them for crazy amounts. You're muted, Punch.
Yeah, so when Uncle, so like the material to make those things, the pork, like basically got too expensive, and then Uncle Josh's was like, it's not economic anymore to like make these things. They couldn't get the supply, so they like discontinued them. And then there was like this mad dash for everybody to like offload any like stock, like dead, like back stock that they had, like new old stock. And then like there was this fever of like everyone wanted to buy it because people were hoarding it. And then they started like,
of course there were.
Yeah, and then like there was a period there where people were selling cases of that stuff for a couple $100, like brand new case sitting in the old tackle shop in the back. Like all of a sudden everyone started looking around for their old Uncle Josh sealed containers because there's like gold in their hills. And then like it was going on eBay. Like there was a couple year period where people were flipping them for pretty good prices, but now they're back. And so I'm guessing that market.
I mean, it makes sense because I've told like the story about my Corrado E. I had a 200E back in the day. It was pretty crappy. I bought it used, and like I sold it for like $40, and that was before I like started working on reels and stuff. So I'm like, like I was getting rid of all my old stuff, trying to get into the new game of things. And I started looking for them a few years ago. So I'm like, I want to get one back again. Like that was a sweet reel, like $250, $300 on eBay. I'm like, what? Like, how could that be? These were from like 2002. So it's like, if there's a want for it, people will find a way to make money. So nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, Shimano diehards they will pay a good price for an older Shimano reel that's in good shape. I think it's like they just like the parts, so there's nostalgia there. Like Shimano's got some classics that always have a good like the old green Corrados or the old cores. Like those are Those prices are.
I mean, the
good.
paint, just the paint alone. Like, I'm pretty plain Jane when it comes to reels, but like you have to. I don't know if it's going to show up on here, but you have to. It's like got the gold metal flake in it. So like when you get it in the sun, it's like all gold.
Yeah, those things are
iridescent-y, sparkly. It's like a hot rod, you know. I don't know. So I think that's part of it. Is like, plus they were made in Japan back in the day. You know, just a cool little reel.
Yeah,
and this one's still.
Oh yeah, they're like bulletproof. They're like old Toyota Tacomas. You know what I mean? Like you can't kill them. Like they're just. Look at that.
Yeah,
are those regular bearings or do you got ceramics in there?
No, I've got hybrid ceramics in there.
Yeah, I can tell.
Look at that. Okay, so tonight we're going to let chat run a lot of this. Punch, I did want to pick his brain on a couple things because we got some new releases. We talked about that last week, which Randy and I were talking afterwards, and Randy kind of brought it up. I'm like, you know what? I kind of felt the same. The classic releases this year were kind of lackluster. There wasn't like a ton of stuff that jumped out as like, oh, this is really cool. I feel like last year there was more things I wanted to try and I was kind of excited for. This year I was like, there's a few things. I did pick up a couple things, but Punch, what's that?
What did you pick up? I'm curious.
I picked up some of and these were actually from was that iCast, I want to say? The Scoundbug from Strike King. I thought those looked cool when those came out. I grabbed some of those.
Yeah, those things are cool. It's basically they took a Speed Craw and a Rage Menace and just kind of.
That's exactly it.
Together, yeah.
That's exactly it. Yep. Mm-hmm. I think it'll be a cool little finesse flipping bait. It's going to be a really good jig trailer.
I'm excited to Carolina rig that bad boy. That's going to be a really good Carolina rig bait.
We need to get Dizzle. We need to have a Carolina rig showdown this year.
I don't even know. I don't know. No. I've never used one. I used to throw in my life.
Really? We should do Mojo rig then. Start with the Mojo. We should do that. The progression of a different dragon bait.
The amount of action I got on a Carolina rig last year was ridiculous. I don't know what it is. Maybe the people just stopped fishing them around my areas, but I went back to dragging around the ball and chain, and I got a lot of action, especially with smallmouth. Smallmouth are just like starting to see the Ned. They're seeing the drop shot. They're seeing the paddle tails on a lot of the lakes I fish. I dragged that ball and chain with just a crayfish behind it, and like you're pulling it, all of a sudden you feel tug, 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 thunk, and it's like you can fish them deep with the Carolina rig too, which is really fun. So if you're like in like 25 foot of water and you got to get to those small on those boulders, I'm just hucking a freaking Carolina rig out nowadays.
Yeah, they work in a number of different ways, and I think, dude, you nailed it because back in the day, Dad and I used to throw it all the time. Like it was just one of the. You drag a Carolina rig, and now I'm sure there's tournament guys and stuff that still do. But for the majority of weekend anglers, there's still a lot of those guys out dragging around Carolina rigs. I don't know, and it definitely is a different look too. Even than like an unpegged Texas rig when you've got it, floating back here on a 2 foot line, just doing its own thing. It's a neat look.
So I had this day. It was in the fall. I went to this one lake where I know there's some really good rock piles. So I hit these rock piles, and sure enough, I had my active target. I saw some fish on it. I'm like, okay, it's probably bass or maybe a little bluegill schools, whatever. I fire in the Ned rig, and I got one little bass to commit. I'm like, okay, so there is largemouth there. Threw in the Ned rig, threw in the drop shot, threw a football jig in, threw a whole bunch of stuff. Didn't really fire the fish up. I pulled the Carolina rig out, fired out a rage bug, the Strike King rage bug on the back of the Carolina rig. I dragged it through, boom. Drag it through again, boom. Drag it through again. It was like I threw the kitchen sink.
It's a very natural look. Like it's nothing's touching it,
Slow through those same fish on the same rock pile, and it was game on. It was, I don't know. I was like, okay, I'm glad and I had the Carolina rig rigged up because the previous weekend I was on a smallmouth trip and I had it in the locker. I was just like, last ditch effort. But there's just not seeing it as much.
I think that's it. It's definitely a different look. Same thing for the Mojo. I always just called it a split shot rig back in the day, but then it came out as like, the Mojo rig and, all this different stuff. But it's the same thing. It's just a little finesse. Like I would throw something like this. This is one of those mini, D-bomb. Just a baby D-bomb.
Yeah.
Something like that on a little Mojo rig is money.
I don't know if other people did this, but when I was younger, when I was like teenage Punch, I had a medium heavy spinning rod. I do the split shot rig with a lizard. That was the one. Like I was
Texas rig
on the back
lizard.
of the split shot. on a medium heavy spinning rod with some monofilament. That was like in the mid late 90s. That's a thing I used to throw.
And we still caught fish.
Oh yeah, we're good.
Why don't I like tornadoes? I have a family now, and I am not much of a risk taker. So when I see that stuff coming around, I'm thinking, I want to make sure my family's safe. So
does anyone like tornadoes?
Tornadoes.
What a weird question. Like, is there anyone
there's
out
people that love to chase
tornado?
them? Storm chasers, I guess.
I will say when I was younger, me and a buddy of mine did catch one. So around here in Iowa, there's like if you're out in the country, there's probably a road every mile and a half, something like that, like a country gravel road. And there was like tornado sirens going off during the day. And this is how long ago it was. We ran to his house and got his camcorder, ran to the Walmart and bought a bunch of tapes. And we're like, we're finding a tornado on tape today, 100%. Sure enough, we pull out of Walmart. I'm like, we're seeing activity. And I'm like, get the tape in, get it in, get it. He's like, I'm trying to unwrap it, get the tape in there. We pull off on one gravel road, pull over to the side just in time to get out, start recording like full on funnel cloud coming out of the sky, forming, touching down. We're getting like pelted in the face with gravel and stuff. And we're like, this is awesome.
See, I was right next to, I think maybe that's the reason is like, we used to live in the country growing up and we had a tornado like shelter outside. It was a cave. It was an old canning cave. So it's like, we have a hill and then like in the side of the hill is, the wooden things you go down, and it was like a canning cellar back in the day because it was like my dad's
older
grandparents or whatever, and that's where they kept all their food, can their vegetables and stuff. You keep them down in the cellar where it was cool. So that's where we'd have to go for tornadoes. And we literally had one like probably 300 yards from us. And dude, talk about scary as hell. Like
really loud. Like,
yeah. Oh dude, they are completely right when they're like, like it's just this weird,
I've never
like, I don't know. It's hard to explain.
That close to one.
It just the destruction. And luckily for us, we lived out in the country, so it was just like a bunch of sticks and crap. But like, man, when you see them go through this city, and it's like it'll literally pick like, okay, I'm going to completely decimate this house. Oh, I'm going to go right next to this house, and all I did was broke the flag on the mailbox, and then the next house is ripped apart. It's just I don't want any part of that.
Luckily up here, we don't I was gonna say, luckily up here we don't get too much tornadic activity. Once in a while we do up in Minnesota, but it's really not like down south.
Yeah, we're kind of in the ring of it as well. I was gonna see if I could find your old last time. I'll do that after. But yes, speaking about Omnia sales, Punch is one of the few that I talk about. Serious Anglers, Punch, Rich. Always go support those guys. So you have a new. Do you want to put that in the chat, Punch? He has a new
this one's code.
Monthly code or whatever.
Sure.
So if you are going to go over there, make sure you use his code, or if you've already used his, support Rich, support one of those guys, support these YouTubers that work hard, because it's a lot of work to do this stuff when we got families and such on the side. So we appreciate any little help we can get, even if it's just a like or comment. We appreciate it a ton. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. It's interesting because we get us Omnia like affiliates. We get to see data on like our links, and so Omnia is like a tech company. They have like full stack developers that are doing a lot of their stuff.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So like, believe it or not, like a lot of people don't know, like Omnia is a tech company hiding as a tackle company or a tackle shop. So they're more of a tech startup than a tackle shop. Like they have full stack developers. They have a data engineer. So they're very savvy on the tech side behind the scenes. The CEO of Omnia actually bought and sold a tech company before he started Omnia. So like they have a lot of experience in this. Point is, we as like affiliates get a ton of statistics about like how the codes are doing and links on stuff. And I think it might be just like the fishing industry kind of seems to be bouncing back a little bit is all I'm going to say. Like this, like it seems like people are super excited about the spring. I'm hoping like just the whole industry as a collective is like booming, because I know the last couple of years things kind of supplies was bad, the economy is bad, but like
there was so much to it.
Yeah, I'm kind of optimistic about this year in the fishing industry.
Oh, good point.
I think things are
tax returns too.
Yeah, yeah, it is tax season, but like I think indicators kind of point towards like maybe things are kind of start bouncing back a little bit as far as
Good.
Tackle shop's doing well. Brands, doing well, selling more hard stuff like rods, reels. I'm hoping.
Speaking of, that's what I want to look at. So I'm going to pick your brain on. So Randy and I were talking.
Let's talk about the classic. Yeah.
Yes, not many things that we saw that were super cool. But I was looking at the rods, the tattoos, and I actually just messaged you about this the other day.
Mm-hmm.
The new Tattoo Elite rods. I always wanted to get one of the old gray ones, but I just never did. And I've actually I think I'll wait until we have a place called Fin and Feather here down in, it's like 35 minutes away from me.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a $100 gift card there for Christmas. So I think I'm going to go there because I think they're a decent Daiwa seller or retailer, I guess. What are you frowning at? What's wrong with the gift card?
Is that in Iowa City?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was there. There used to be that one like in the middle of town in Cedar Rapids.
It moved. Oh,
Yeah.
no. Yeah, that
was a long time ago. It's probably like a
Whole Foods. I think it's a Whole Foods now.
Oh, Lord.
I think so. My opinion is basically
here.
The last Bassmaster Classic last year was kind of Shimano's party. Like they came out with a bunch of cool stuff. The new Stella, the new Bento, the Bantam update, the new Aldebaran that no one can still get yet nowadays. Point is, like last year was kind of Shimano's party. This year was definitely Daiwa's party. Like Daiwa had the biggest coming out of like all the big manufacturers. Like to me, this was Daiwa's year with the new Tatula Elite. So I actually have one right here. This is one of the new ones.
Hold on, squirrel. Is that? It is. That's the old Superbug color.
That's the only color I buy these days. I love the Superbug.
So good.
Half blue, half green.
All right, so let's go to what's the easiest way to get. Didn't they have? I was looking on the other day. I thought they had. Oh, here we go. Classic releases. Let's just go through this. This will be fun.
Sure.
Okay, so starting with. Oh, look at that.
I got one right here.
This was the other one I was going to ask you about. Okay, thoughts on it?
Hey, wait, quick, real fast punch before you do that, Depot. Sorry to jump in.
Oh, go ahead.
I have a question.
Whenever.
I posted this on Instagram the other day with a picture. You get a lot of gear. You get a lot of rods, reels, things like that. What do you do with the boxes? What do you do with all the boxes? The reel boxes, at least.
I keep every single box because anytime I sell a reel, I always make sure I have the box. I hoard all the boxes. I got a giant bag, literally like a big old garbage bag, like one of those like you fill up your lawn clippings in, full of boxes down in my basement, just stuck in a corner somewhere. So yeah, I keep every single box, every single piece of paperwork.
Yeah, it was kind of a split, as far as what I got on Instagram, but a lot of people were like, just toss it. And I was starting to like kind of think, I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna go out and buy a used reel, personally for me, I don't care if I get the box or not. I'm just going to put it downstairs in the basement with the rest of the boxes and never probably use them again. I'm not a guy that's really probably going to go out and sell a whole lot of stuff. But if you're more of the kind of person that is apt or willing or actually do go out and sell, that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, I absolutely do tend to get bored with stuff and sell it. And then I like having the box because I use the box to put the reel in to ship it. Because I sell a lot of stuff online on my Instagram. So I'll be like, hey, I got this reel. Anybody want it? It just makes it easier to package it and send it if I have the box. So, but I'm also kind of a hoarder with like boxes and
hoarder.
Yeah. But no, I like keeping the box. I like when I buy a reel if I get the box.
Personally. Yeah, I like getting the paperwork at least. As a minimum, I like getting the paperwork that it came with. I tend to hoard things to an extent. I just consolidated all of my files into one filing box. I got a big file tote and I got all these hanging files. I'm such a nerd, but I got like all of these manuals for all these different things. I'm like, why do I have a manual for a pair of hair clippers? I know how to use these damn things. I'm outside of the
apart someday. You got to schematic.
Here's a good one. Okay, listen, you box nerds. I want to get to some of these questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
John asked, I have the Denali Riker rod by Denali. Have you used any Denali rods, Punch?
Nope. I've played with them in stores, but no, I've never bought one.
Randy and I talk about it all the time. John, I have not used that one. The Abu Garcia Silvermax, I think that's a clone of the Vendetta, which is like their $50 rod. That's an awesome budget rod, dude.
Yeah.
Great, do it all, starting out.
I think it's the Vendetta. It's a fantastic rod. If you're just dipping your toes in, something to get started with, something that's not going to break the bank, and maybe you don't like that kind of feel or whatever. Definitely something to get in there and get your toes wet.
One time I was at a random Walmart in central Minnesota, and I walked by like their clearance, and there was like a pile of Vendetta sitting in there. And I picked them up and looked at the tag, and they had them marked down to like $20. I was like, oh, I bought a few of them, and I used them for a little while, and I just kind of like gave them away. I was like, because they sell them at Walmart, and every once in a while they land in a clearance section for no reason. And
Walmart's weird like that. Like, I don't know.
Doesn't make any sense.
There was somebody somebody shared it with me. I didn't get one, but somebody else posted they had like Eagle Claw rods for $1, like $40 rod or something, and they were like $1.
Once in a while, you can have some really good Walmart scores if they just are random.
I guess they were just giving them, essentially away. We don't want them. So
one time I walked into a Walmart and I saw the clearance thing. It was all this hunting stuff, but one shelf had, the Bang, the spray, the Bang oil you can.
Oh yeah, the attractant.
They had a whole shelf of Bang cans. They were all marked down to like $2, like $1.99. I bought all of them, and I still am going through it. It's been years.
I've never used that.
I have new cans that I bought during that clearance thing.
You're hoarding them. You're waiting for it to turn like the Uncle Josh's pork stuff.
Well, I use it. I got the Bang on football.
5 cases of Bang.
It just takes a while to get through one. So anyway, I'm stocked up on Bang for probably the next 10 years.
So you're spinning the reel there. What do you think of it? Daiwa Tatula MQ, is that the monocoque?
Yeah, MQ means the monocoque. Basically just means that the body is one piece. One piece, because there's still like a big piece right here, but like basically Daiwa made a decision that like they're going to go all in on the monocoque design. So basically like they started out the monocoque on the last Exist, and then they brought it to the Surte, and then they brought it to the Kage, and then they brought it to the Ballistic, and then for some reason they jumped lower than this and brought it out on the Procyon, which is actually under this price point by a couple bucks, because it's the body on the Procyon is not the Zion. So the Zion is like Daiwa's proprietary carbon blend, like that they came up with. Like Shimano's got CI4, their proprietary lightweight blend, and then Daiwa's got Zion. So anyway, so they went like Exist, Surte, Kage, Procyon, and then now the Tatula got the refresh with the MQ. So if you do the math, at some point the Fuego is probably going to have a MQ Fuego in like a year or two.
One of the best top $399 reels out there.
Oh, yeah, I love the Fuego. But I'm just saying, don't be surprised if you see basically every spinning reel Daiwa makes have an MQ body, unless it's like the really low budget ones, right? Like the $50, $60 ones. But yeah, they've gone all in on this monocoque thing. So the new Tatula is pretty much a carbon copy clone of the Ballistic. So like when you put this next to the Ballistic MQ, not too many differences.
Is that the black and red one?
Yeah. So the Ballistic has all of the mag seal. So it's the saltwater version, to keep the water from going inside the body. So the Ballistic is basically, I think, $30 more than this thing. It has the mag seal. It's a little heavier on the scale than this guy. But the only big difference that I saw was the bail arm and the rotor. So they went with a lighter rotor on the Tatula to probably make it lighter than the Ballistic. So the rotor is different, but the spool and the body is basically the same. So I don't know if you guys know this, but like Daiwa had to redo their Zion blend to make it more cheaper. So this is they call it Zion V. So the Kage and some of the other high-end, more high-end Daiwa reels, and actually do you have the old Tatula?
Yeah, that's the one I've got. I think that's my most expensive spinning reel that I own, is that one.
So the old Tatula, the old Ballistic, and the Kages, they all had the old Zion blend, but the old Zion blend was kind of expensive to produce, I guess. And so they came up with a cheaper version of the Zion. And all these new ones are coming out with the Zion V, because they basically have to figure out, like, because the monocoque body costs more money. Like, it's a bigger gear. Like, there's more material in these things. So they had to figure out how to, like, make it cheaper so they could put more expensive hardware in it. And so they had to redo the Zion blend to, like, get it at a lower price point. So technically, this is not the same body material as, like, your old black one that you have. It's technically like not as good, I guess, or cheaper. But, they added in the big monocoque gears. I will say, though, after beating on a Ballistic monocoque all last season, not super happy with it because I wish I would have brought it upstairs. It's loose. Like I'm not even
really
like a heavy user, but you can take the handle and like wiggle it and it knocks. Like I could hold up the microphone and you hear click, 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 click. I'll go grab it and show you what I'm talking about. But like I use my ballistic MQ a lot, but I'm not like a pro who's like out using it every single day. I'm like a weekend.
Right.
And even me, I was like, this thing got a little too loosey-goosey after like 1 year. The tolerances don't feel that great. Like I got Shimano Stratics that I've had for years and have pounded them. They have no movement in the handle, totally still rigid and solid. Like the tolerances have been great. I used the ballistic MQ for like 1 summer and it's already kind of like wiggly and loose. And I'm like, okay, Daiwa, do you have like this?
Isn't that supposed to be part of it? Is like the one frame is like it's supposed to be more
rigid. Well, the body is
rigid. Yep.
What the movement is coming from is from the handle on the gear, like the actual like the guts are.
But it's a screw in. It's a direct connect screw in, right? So is it the gear moving?
What's that?
Is it the handle's a screw in, right? On the old one too.
On all of them.
So yeah. Is it the gear somehow that's not?
Something's moving in there, and it makes a little bit of a knock. Like when I'm reeling it in, and if you reel it in at a little bit of an angle, you can hear like a little. You can hear a little knocking in there, and I'm like, this is like a $220 like, high end reel from Doyo, and 1 year it's already getting a little like loosey goosey. Anyway, that's all thing with Daiwa. I don't know why. Like even my Tatulas do that, like this, like the regular Tatula get casting reels. Like for some reason, Daiwas feel really great the first like 2 months you have them, and then when you use them and break them in, they get a little loose, make weird noises. I don't know.
Debo, the next time we go out, I need you to look at my Tatula and cast it a few times. I was throwing it last night and it was making some kind of weird noise. I think I told you about
it. Is it squeak screeching?
It's not a squeak screech. It's like
Daiwas as soon as they get dry.
Does it make the noise when you're casting?
Yeah, it's only when I cast. There's no like
always bearings.
Weird.
Yeah. No, not always bearings.
Most of the time. Lube.
No. Most of the time with seal bearings that are in stuff now, like those will outlast unless you're saltwater fishing. Most of them that I've seen, I mean, it certainly could be a bearing, but most of them that I've seen from Daiwa, especially lately, is lube.
Okay.
I bought the Elite Bone Dry, and I got what was the other one? Oh, the 80 Bone Dry. So
yeah, Daiwa's come a horrible dry. Yeah, Daiwa's come really dry from the factory. Although
it could be
my Zillions didn't.
My Zillions have been really well lubed from the factory.
Yeah, like they were and have been perfect. So I don't
know. Almost
yeah,
sounds
I mean, it could be that or bearings.
It almost
doesn't do it when you reel, does it? Does it do it when you reel?
No. So like when say you cast and you didn't realize you had like a little bit of a backlash. So there's like a piece of line in there. And so when you cast, it's hitting it and it sounds like a tick, 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 like almost like a tick sounding, but I'm not 100% certain. I could just hear it when I was.
How long have you been using this reel?
I mean, I've had it for a year and it's not one of my go-tos.
Probably just needs to be cleaned.
Yeah. It can, dirt and stuff can do weird stuff. Like,
do you pronounce it cleaned? Cleaned?
How do you pronounce reel cleaning? I'm not aware.
Is that just dunking the reel in the water every once in a while?
Hey, Gramps in the house. Oh, hey, Gramps, we need to have you on. I want to hear about your Bassmaster experience. We'll have to set that up.
Gramps was crushing it with the content from Bassmaster. Like,
dude, he was meeting all the folks.
He was like, "Hey, I'm with like all these like his Instagram was pretty fire during Classic. He was getting around."
So I'm not trying to be boring, guys. I am over here trying to pin. I've got 5 comments pinned for questions and stuff because I said tonight was going to be questions. So if anybody's looking at me, oh no, not you guys. I'm talking about chat because I'm focused here on all these good questions and it does the stupid jump ahead thing. So I was going back. Somebody else asked, did I find that one? Real quick, we're going to answer it because it was a good one. I brought it up and now I can't find it.
Let me just summarize. So the Tatula LT. Dude, this is the new $200 entry. Shimano's trying to this is to compete with the Stratic. Yes. A lot of people don't like that they added all the silver accents to it and they wanted it jet black. I agree. I think aesthetically this thing sucks. Like I wish they would just kept with the same flat black.
See, I don't mind that.
It's just personal.
You know what piece I always hate though is the stupid chrome piece that they do on the butt cap.
I complain about that every time.
Cheap.
So the old Tatula LTs, had a black cap.
I have
But you know what? Everybody's doing this now. Even Shimano with the all black accents. So you buy a $500 Shimano accents. It's all jet black. It even has a chrome.
You guys got a butt crack on that one.
It even has a chrome thing on the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah. See, this is just all blacked out.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of my favorites because it's so boring. It's just sleek.
It's great.
And they go with anything. Like if you're a matchy match person, which I don't really care about, but if you're one of those people, like an all black reel will go on anything. And this is a great reel. So this is, I will say real quick, I tried doing the Berkeley or this, I guess it's not Berkeley, spider wire Durabraid on here. The Finesse stuff sucked, man. Like this here, listen.
I don't hear anything.
Here, okay, let me do my
I
finger.
hear it a
listen.
little.
Dude, it is really rough.
Like a
The
tingy
spinning
kind
stuff,
of.
No, it's like, I mean, sorry, it's just a rough, it's like any other rough braid. The Finesse stuff sucked. I think that was 15 pound. The 65 pound for frogging, I liked. So that was just my take on it. But spider wire seems to be very like hit or miss.
I use basically Daiwa J braid Grand is like my favorite all-time 8 carrier braid for spinning reels. I love that stuff. Super Slick V2 is pretty good, but Daiwa J
I like
braid,
that too. I like the Super Slick V2.
the J braid Grand is a little louder through the guides, but casts further because Super Slick V2 is really limp, like super soft. I'll take the extra casting distance any day. Like I'll take a couple extra feet over like a slightly more noisy line. But yeah, the J-Ray Grand is really, really good.
Yeah, I like, and even if you guys want a good budget braid, just regular Daiwa J braid.
Yeah, or just regular Bar Pro. Regular Bar Pro is great.
Oh yeah, that's what Randy uses. He's a huge Power Pro guy.
That's stuff.
And it's like anything else. People will, I almost said a naughty word there. People will gripe about it, but it's just like anything, a lot of times it's people slacklining it or cast or anything. It doesn't matter what braid you have. Like if you slackline and your lure comes to an abrupt, snap, a half-ounce buzz bait, like it's going to be gone. It doesn't matter the braid. So,
hey, Debo, don't forget, I'm like grabbing questions, things like that, and putting it into the StreamYard chat.
Oh, cool.
I see
whenever
that
I paste it in there, it is putting like their name and then their like how many months they're a member. So I just wanted to remind you.
That's a cool feature. Let's talk about the Maraville because I know you've actually used one.
Yes.
But can I just like do a little speech on why it's a significant reel to real nerdom? Because it is.
I will allow you to gear nerd out. We appreciate that.
So what's cool is Shimano always made you spend over $200 for CI4. So like the old Stratic CI4 pluses, like if you wanted that CI4 material, it was a $200 bill.
What was the silver Stratic?
There's the FK, and then the current one I think is the FL.
Is it black and red one?
No, it's black and blue. I'm sorry, silver and blue is the current Stratic. But those
the old one was black and red, I think, right?
Well, the old CI4 Plus was silver and red, and now the Van.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Yes.
So it was like if you wanted the CI4, you had to buy the Stratic CI4 Plus, like $230, $240 reel, kind of expensive. The Maraville is the first reel that Shimano has ever made that's like affordable with CI4. So the Maraville is essentially a Nasky with the CI4 Plus body. It's a lightweight Nasky. It's basically what it is.
Yeah.
And that's significant because forever everyone's like CI4 Plus is amazing. It's super light, super rigid. Buy them. They're great. And now if you only have like $130 to spend on a reel, you can get CI4 Plus, which is like pretty cool to me. Like it's awesome that Shimano brought that material into a sub $150 reel. Like it's a great bargain.
And what is it? What's actually in it? Like that makes it.
It's just the light. It's light. It's so like I said, like these companies make their own carbon blends. So CI4 Plus is Shimano's carbon blend. Zion is Daiwa's carbon blend. It's just the super lightweight, but really rigid. So it's like, it feels like metal, but it's a carbon blend, right?
So that's, dude, I don't know how much you know on that stuff, but that's something I've always wondered. So like, if you look at baitcaster, so I'm huge on aluminum frame, like if you can get an aluminum handle side plate. So take like a Tatula, I don't have one here, but like, let's say a Tatula 150, awesome, affordable reel. They used to be like 150. But taking that step up, you want to get something that's going to last forever. Great. But you see a lot of the companies going from aluminum frame to like the what do they call it? CI Lose, I know has it. There's a couple others that call it, but it's like that something carbon side plate, but it's a step
magnesium?
up. It's like
no,
not magnesium.
So aluminum is never going to be light. Like it's always going to be really firm and rigid, but you're never going to have like a super lightweight aluminum. And then real companies feel like to upcharge and make you spend more money, they need to be super lightweight, and that's when they got to drift into the magnesium world. And then
I'm not talking about magnesium. I my wonder is what is the strength of, and I can't remember what they call it, but it's like an upgraded carbon side plate versus graphite because they're both essentially
I know what you're talking about. It's all about weight.
But I want to know strength. I don't care about weight. I want to know the strength aspect.
Yeah,
how would like here? I think this is kind of a sleeper reel, honestly. $199. You can find these on sale for $150 all the time. It casts well. Mine has been solid.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Nope, that's all I was going to say. But here's the one. This has here C45 carbon.
Who knows what that is? But yeah, it's not metal, it's carbon. Yeah.
But you'll notice it's an upgrade. Like it's only on their more expensive reels, so it has to be more expensive than a regular graphite. Although I mean they wouldn't use it. So it's like, what's the difference? What's the strength difference between a $50 graphite reel moving up to a C45 carbon?
I think it's literally just about weight because when they put the carbon side plates on, it's lighter than the aluminum side plate. I think that's kind of only the real big difference. It's just it saves some ounces or fractions of ounces.
Well, I want to know. I want a real maker person to tell us the exact difference between like because you think like carbon fiber, like they're all in, some sort of
they're all in Korea and Japan.
I know. I want to get one. I would love to go to like Korea and go through like I don't know, is Banek still there? Like a Doyo factory? I think that would be so fun to just dude, that would be so fun. I would be nerding out. But anyway, I've always wanted to know the strength difference. So Randy, what do you think about that? What's your take on it?
I'll be honest, I have no idea. I wasn't paying attention.
But
I was replying to chat Randy. And I was getting questions.
I'll say this though. The Marival if you are like a budget person, you should be celebrating that. If you're a Shimano nerd and you're on a budget, you should be so happy that the Marival came out. Like it is such an awesome reel for the price.
It's a good reel. Yeah.
What's the price run?
$130.
Yeah, say okay. 130.
But you're getting the same tech that was in a $220 reel 2 years ago. You know what I mean? It's like that tech has dropped down into an affordable range, and you're like everyone benefits from it. Like it's awesome. Although I don't love the name. I don't know where they come up with Marival. Like that's just strange.
Marival, like a city. It makes me want to sing and dance.
Well, Vanford's a weird name too. I don't know where Shimano is coming up with the marketing names for their stuff. It's very strange. Like what the hell's a Bento?
I like this one. I like Lose, but this one did not impress me at all. $300 for essentially a shallow spool Lose custom light, right? I mean,
have you gotten your hands on the new Lose anything? Because they basically took the new Doyo and then now it's the new Pro TI and the new body. You know what I'm talking about?
Nope. Yeah, the more expensive ones. No, me and I were looking at the website on that. Remember when we were talking about that? That's been some time ago, but no, I haven't got to play with any of those.
Yeah, Doyo dropped a whole new frame and a whole new platform, and now, of course, Lose, their cake decorators, they took the Doyo thing and slapped.
See, that's another thing. Like people will say that as like, oh my god, it's just Lose is just another Doyo company, but like I would like to see how much say, and I think we talked about the exact same thing.
I think they have very little say. They have. I think very very little. I don't think the volume. I don't think the volume of Lose numbers of what they sell even pales in comparison to what Doyo sells directly. Like
that's crazy.
I have a very distinct feeling that Lose has very little input on anything that Doyo does.
Is it a marketing thing? Like, is Doyo just not allowed to sell that direct to US?
No, because they don't want to mess with the American market. Think about it. They would have to learn what we want. They would have to market to us, or they just punt it to a company like Lose, say, you handle it.
They're essentially the wholesaler, right? Like they're taking it wholesale side and then turning it to American consumer. And I'm not mad at that. I mean,
they take the Korean reel, they slap an American flag on it. They say, hey, this is and they give the Americans what they want. and then they sell it, and then with an upmark, like a markup. Because what's funny is if you buy the reel, like the platform that the Lose Pro TI and the whatever the new one is based off of, if you buy it from Japan, it's like, I want to say it's like $260, $270, something like that. But then you go to buy the Pro TI, and Lose's cut is pretty significant, so the price is higher. So
that's crazy.
But it's a good business model. I do the same thing.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. I mean, if they're not going to, do the work to get it over here, I mean, I like Lose. So whether it's Doyo or Lose, like
I can't
I'll use them.
I can't talk smack about Lose because I've owned many Lose reels over the years, and they're easy to work on. They work really well. You can usually get them on pretty darn good discounts. Like I have zero problem with Lose reels, except for their spinning reels suck. Their casting reels are fantastic.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of their spinning reels either.
Don't the majority of the bait casters, the side plate, isn't it connected? They have that little thing that you can like flip and it kind of hangs, or am I totally off basis?
No,
which reel?
Shimano.
Oh, Shimano. Okay,
Lose has the one you have to like twist and spin it out, and then it pops off.
Okay, I was. God,
No,
I hate
that would have been
steel.
Abu. That was the old Abu
Yeah.
where you had to twist it.
Abu has those where you have to. Yeah, that
Yeah,
came off
that was
one
their
time
old-
before I knew anything about fishing, and I was like, "What the hell? What's going
We
on
have
here?"
over 300 people. This is all great.
Yeah, dude, it's always a fun time.
There's a lot of
So
fun.
I see Mr. Rundle in the house. Nick, we need to get your computer thing figured out so we can get you on a live and talk Iowa boys bait making. And I'll run over some headphones or something. I think we were having headphone issues again last time, and then internet. So
They're never
let me
going to
know. Or
work
we
if
can
you
just
run them over.
we can set up in the garage. Dizzle and you could come over and we could hang out in the garage, talk making things.
Nobody
Okay,
got
let's get
that.
to some questions. So I wanted to go through some more of this, but we're already what? 41 minutes
Have
in.
you guys seen these yet?
No, I wanted to ask thoughts on it. It's the new turd lure, but it's heavy, right? The
I
heavy
got it right
turd.
here. No, it's not that heavy. It's literally, I threw it on the scale. So this is 0.6. It's 3.5 inches, which the cover scat is 3.5 inches. The cover scat weighs 0.6 ounces. This weighs 0.6 ounces on the dot, both of them. So it's literally the same thing as a cover scat.
Cover scat clone.
It's got a little flappy tail.
Same
thing.
Tail.
It's cover scat, but it's got a flappy tail.
Neck save. Is that the one I have here? Is that the $50?
Debo, don't forget
Help me.
StreamYard. Questions
What
in there
about
for you.
StreamYard? Oh yes, and I've been marking them. I've got 7 saved. What in the hell? Oh my god. Is this the next save? I can never remember the name of this one.
But yeah, so
Oh yeah, awesome reel, dude.
I've never had that.
At $50, yeah, this is like their $50 option. I have had 0 issues with it so far. Would definitely recommend it, unless it's something over time, more use that could fail. But so far, 0 complaints.
I will say, as far as like a Lose is concerned, they're fantastic for like the combos on a budget. You can get some pretty decent combos from them. The all-in-one spinning reel, spinning rod, whole nine. But yeah, there's definitely a different feel between a Lose all-in-one combo and like a
Garcia or Daiwa.
Yeah,
Daiwa's combo, like all-in-one combos, kind of are not that great. Also, at least with the Lose combos, you're getting something that's got a little like flair, a little flavor to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What did I run across? I saw the other day. I almost bought it just for funsies, but it was an Okuma spinning rod and reel combo, and it was like this weird, I don't know, blue color, really baby robin eggs blue rod color. It was really weird. It was very, very light spinning rod, but
so this Jason guy goes, just get a Vanford, except a Vanford is literally $100 more expensive than the Marival. Like, you know what I mean? You get basically 2 Maravals for almost as much as one Vanford. So I get it. Vanfords are great, but if you are on a budget and you still want a super lightweight reel, the Marival's really hard to beat at $130.
Gramps, were you pitching and flip? I guess you probably wouldn't use it as pitching and flipping, were you? What would you use that one for? I like the custom light. I got the custom light on sale a while back, and I like the reel. I just feel like $300 for a shallow spooled one I feel like that's expensive. But again, I'm not a BFS guy. I'm not a shallow spool guy. Like that stuff doesn't get me up in the morning and excited. So read into that how you want, Randall. I saw those eyes squint. Use your imagination.
Debo, pull back up the Bassmaster Classic thing. I want to talk about the Daiwa Tatula Elite Rod reboot.
Oh yes, that was the whole
talk about with that because I've had my hands on every single rod in the series, and I got thoughts.
Oh, speaking of the pork market coming back,
there it is.
Picasso now has their own JDM pork trailer, dude.
None of these are in stock, and I have alerts set up. As soon as these go in stock, I'm buying some of these because I want to try them. As soon as these actually come in at Omnia, I'm totally like picking some up.
Oh, what is this?
Oh, so this is
wacky vibe hook. Oh my.
Do you want a wacky worm and throw a chatterbait wacky worm? Why not? I actually have not even seen this. What do you guys think of this? $11. That's expensive
for one
jackhammer.
No, it can't be one. Better not be.
Oh, 3 per pack. Oh, you're getting multiples. Okay.
Okay, but either way,
that's expensive.
Or 2.
Picasso's not cheap.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, man. So it's the same thing. It's the exact blade, and that's the strange hookup that they use for the. Or I shouldn't say strange. It works. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I don't know. I will not be rushing out to get one, but
okay. So that's like a wacky hook, a Ned, and a jackhammer all got in an orgy, and that's what you ended up with.
Almost like a Nico. It's like a Nico hook. So you could do wacky Nico. Oh my, that's interesting.
Sorry, real quick, I found it here. It's the Fuel Spin Combo by Okuma.
Fuel Spin Combo.
I've not heard of that one.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know, periwinkle. I don't know if that's the right color, but it's like a robin's egg, real light blue with orange accents, black handle. It was, I think, pretty cheap. I don't even know. I didn't get that far into it. Talked myself out of it and left.
Oh, that's the 2018 ones.
So yeah, they're discontinuing those. Okay. Yeah, go to the one. It was right next to it. Okay. So this is interesting because what Daiwa is doing is they let the pros completely figure out their own models, and they let the pros pick what handle material and handle style they want. So a couple of the pros are very cork centric, like Corey Johnston and what's the other guy? I don't know their pro staffs all the top.
Oh, there's one.
But anyway, the point is some of them have full cork handles, and then some of them have EVA, but the blanks are the same. So like aesthetically, the blanks all look the same. They have that dark silver blank, but some of them you're getting a cork, some of you getting EVA, and it was completely the decision of the pro. They got to pick. So it's kind of interesting. But what's confusing is here, scroll down a little bit, Debo. Go to I'm going to get your initial impressions. I'm not going to say anything. Click the show, or no, the show more right there. No, the top, the one above.
Oh, yep. Whoop.
Yep. Look down this list. It's really confusing. Like there's a lot of options and some of them overlap.
Yeah, that's what we were chatting about this the other day when I asked you about these. And that's the one thing that I feel is strange is I feel like anytime that like a company lets the pros like pick their rods, I always feel like they seem to miss, and I haven't looked through this whole list, but they seem to miss like a good multi-purpose do-it-all rod. And they have like some really strange oddball rods, which I'm not saying is bad, but it's like, it's interesting when they do this.
Okay, so you're shopping for these rods. I'm just going to pull out an example. The top rod, Seth Fighter has a 6.9 jerkbait rod, medium light. But if you look 3 rods down, there's a 6.10 jerkbait rod from Patrick Walters that's a medium. Why do they have 2? So 2 jerkbait rods are essentially almost the same. Seth's has EVA. Walters has cork. I'm going, are you eating your own?
It's a huge lure difference though. 5/8 for one up to 1.5 ounces on the other. Like,
but my point is, if you're going, I want a new Tatula Elite jerkbait rod. How do you pick between the two? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you don't actually have, I'm just saying, like, it's weird that they have.
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah.
Overlaps as a consumer. Even I picked them up. I picked all of these rods up at the, there's a sports show and there's a Daiwa booth here in Minneapolis, and they had all the rods. So I literally geeked out on every single one of them. I couldn't tell that much of a difference between the fighter rod and the Walters jerkbait rod in hand. One has cork, one has EVA. They're both pretty light. They're both pretty whippy. One's an inch shorter. And I'm going, if I'm a consumer, I don't know how to pick which one. Like,
Yeah, well, even looking up one more, you go one later, and you've got Randy Howell's 7-foot medium light
Right.
shallow crank jerkbait rod.
I think they let these pros go a little too crazy because it's getting weird. Like,
yeah, it's like I like it, but I get what you're saying too. Like, as a consumer, and again, this is where I think, yeah, it's as a consumer, you're like, whoa, what the, I just want my 7-foot medium heavy, and they do have some, but it's like,
yeah, that's
it always seems strange when they let them just like to give it to the wolves and do whatever you want. And it's
now there's a ton of rods. And what's funny is a lot of them are really technique specific. One of the weirdest rods in the lineup is that Cody Meyer small search bait rod. Go down a little bit. So Cody Meyer fishes a lot of spotted bass in reservoir lakes in California, and they throw a lot of like Kitex or like a lot of paddle tail swim baits. He basically made a bait casting rod that can handle lighter paddle tails, like with casting gear. So most of the time people throw this on spinning. So he made a 7.6, but it's super parabolic. Like it is like almost like a cranking rod. I'm going, this is not a rod that's going to fly off the shelf. Like it's so technique specific. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I want to have a big casting rod that can throw a 3-inch paddle tail.
Right. Little quarter ounce. Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know. I often wonder sometimes if they do this and like come out with the whole gambit and then see what sells. And then like later on, do they, like, let's say they make 500 of each or whatever hell, I don't know. And then later on, they just like kind of nix some of them and just, okay, these last 3 didn't sell, forever, but this small search bait and the frog one sold, in a month or whatever.
So, okay. One thing I want to note for everybody that's watching, all of these rods have the regular Fuji guides. There's no version of these rods that have
good
quite yet.
That's why I didn't buy one.
So, like in the old Tatula Elites, they had the regular, but you could spend $60 more and get a couple AGS versions. I've heard, though, from the Daiwa reps that they do have AGS models, but they will not be out until summer. So apparently this is all the initial launch, but there's a couple more rods coming out sometime this summer that will have the $50 more if you want AGS. So if you're an AGS, if you want AGS, they're coming allegedly from Daiwa. But they're not. Who knows when they're going to be out? The AGS is the super expensive carbon fiber guides.
Yeah, they were we've talked about that before, and I think the problem was there's just no flex to them, like a stainless steel or titanium, whatever, and they were just it's a cool idea to make them lighter, but from everybody who I heard that had one had either broke or had issues with it. So
I've had the old AGS guides, and I have broken them. But what's cool is you just send it to Daiwa, they rewrap it, comes back, looks brand new, and they don't charge you other than you have to ship a rod to them. But like, I have the new AGS and I have not had a problem. Like seems fine. So I don't know. But anyway, I'm just saying if you're shopping for one of these new Tatula Elite rods, good luck. Because unless you can get these in your hands,
you got options.
Incredibly confusing.
Dizzle, what is your go-to Finesse Yig trailer?
This is a great question.
Yeah, I responded a couple times in the chat here. I don't know if he's not getting them or what, but
what do you guys find as a finesse jig? Because there's a wiggle room in what's a finesse jig.
All of my jigs are finesse.
Okay.
even my swim jigs.
I'm thinking like the 1/4 ounce 5/16 like round ball head type. I'm not talking like micro jigs.
I'm
just saying like a finesse.
Damn it!
It doesn't
I totally just put somebody in timeout. My bad.
Oh my god! Sorry. Again, banning people, timeouting people. This is why we can't have nice things.
You can't click in the YouTube chat anywhere except for say something at the very bottom to be able to like scroll down. My bad. Not a Bob 7. I apologize. I didn't mean to.
So what's
the Strike King Rage or the Strike King Rage chunk?
Oh, Rage chunk.
Yep, the chunk, the small one.
Okay.
Small. I always like to go small. Like even with my War Eagles, I will sometimes, especially if I'm like on the river or fishing for smallmouth, I will trim down the skirts on my War Eagles and even trim the Rage chunk just a little bit. But I like that small, compact look of it.
All right. Rage chunk. Got it. That's interesting. I kind of go two ways. Like if you want to go bougie, I like the OSP Doe Live Craw. The little 3-inch Doe Lives are great, but they're like
I haven't tried that one.
They're really good.
Aren't those big for like a free rig too? I think people were saying.
Doe Live Beaver is the big.
Oh, the Beaver. Yeah, it's got like the ridge tail or whatever.
Big flappy things. I've used it. It's fine. I don't think you need to spend that kind of money. But like anyway, but for the affordable, I was talking about this in one of my more recent videos. This bait is awesome for finesse jigs. So it's the
Can you pull one of those out?
Yeah. So it's the X Zone Muscleback Finesse Craw. Ooh, actually pull the leg off this thing, but anyway, it's the Muscleback Finesse Craw, but it's 3 1/4. What's great is it's super slender, and when I have a small finesse jig, I just bite about 1/4 inch off of the thing, and it fits almost every finesse jig perfectly fine. It's got the flanged paddles, so it does have some action. X Zone baits float, so if it's sitting still, it's going to slowly rise up instead of sit dead flat like a Strike King.
What size is that?
3 1/4.
Okay, so not too much, just a smidge bigger, 1/4 inch bigger than a Strike King.
But I bite down and have a short shank finesse jig. But this is like my go-to jig trailer for kind of everything. I have so many of these on the boat, and I use them for all sorts of stuff. But
I was using those. The thing I like about those is they're like the Packas. Like you've got kicky, like fast kicky trailers versus like the longer wavy, and that's like the wavy that reminds me of the like the Packas, which I used to throw a lot, and I've kind of got away from that. But
these things are just super versatile. You can use these on free rig. So I use these on just a straight free rig. This is like my main skipping jig trailer, swim jig. Like it's like if you just want one craw to rule them all, the Muscleback Finesse 3 1/4 is awesome.
So that's what was that again? I'm sorry, nobody else listened to this. Just me and Punch talking right now.
It's the X Zone Muscleback Finesse Craw. So they have two versions. They have a 4-inch, and then they have the Finesse, which is the 3 1/4. I love the smaller one, so I almost buy these exclusively. I blow through so many packs of these a year. This is my main football jig trailer, free rig, skipping jigs, dock fishing. This is like my main bread and butter crawfish at all.
So let me ask you the real question though. How does their Okeechobee craw color look?
Beautiful. Half green, half black, or black and blue. I almost go with this is my main color. I always use the green pumpkin black. It's just like the one I always buy. But anyway, Muscleback Finesse Craws.
Ban somebody else, Randy.
And they are 25% off currently on Omnia, FYI.
What'd you say, Debo?
Oh. Did you ban somebody? What was that look?
That was me trying to get to X Zone and put my notepad down because I'm writing all this stuff down to try to make a card.
I thought you banned somebody again. I was going to start laughing.
Buy a couple packs right now. Omnia's got. Oh, is that the net bait, right?
Yeah, this is the Packa Slim. I used to throw these.
Those are
3.5 inch. But these have like, I don't know if the camera will show up, but they don't have the flange. They've got like waves on the claw. So the claw is one. Hold on, let's get a.
I've used those before. They're legit.
Oh, look at how handsome I am. So this is just like a little slender piece, but it's got like little, you can't really see them, but it's got like little waves. So like they stick up a little bit, and it gives it a very like flappy look instead of like that real tight kick, kind of like a Rage deal. So just a different look. I don't say it's going to, kind of catch more different fish, but it's kind of a different action, so maybe if everybody's throwing something, maybe it'll work. I don't know, but
so I caught my PB walleye on the Muscleback Finesse Craw.
Dang.
It's a 30-inch river walleye monster on a football jig with the X Zone Muscleback Finesse Craw. I think it was 9+ pounds.
Jesus.
So multi-species bait.
Did it fight like a wet towel?
No, it actually fought. I thought it was a muskie. So this river system I was fishing in has a lot of muskie. And when it hit, it was so locked to the bottom and just big head thrashes. It did not want to come up. And I was fishing it on NRX 873 casting setup. So I had heavy line, heavy football jig. I felt it come off the bottom, and I split the hook, and I just felt a big head shake, and it didn't move. And I'm like, oh, I got a muskie. And then when I saw it come up and it was that giant walleye, I started like this is my face. I was like, this is amazing. Like it was.
Damn, we got to get into some. We're an hour in.
You haven't even touched any of my questions I put out in the stream.
Spring bait.
That's cool.
Let's do spring
I've got
bait.
9. Okay, so we're gonna do spring bait. So we're gonna do some rolling thunder as the Burley boys. And speaking of, go watch Punch over on the Burley channel. Whoops, I guess he's this way. He was on the Burley Bunch channel, but I don't think Burley was there. It was
just Paul.
That's better that way. Burley's he's like
better of you, the two, if you ask me. He just like
he tries to be like me, trying to look like me with the glasses and the beard. And come on, Burley.
You guys do definitely look maybe related.
We definitely used to get that. Now that I've put on weight and I'm a little bit fatter, it doesn't look as much.
Oh yeah, because he's just Mr. Gym guy.
Dude,
hey, Debo, real quick, just in case everybody doesn't have Instagram or hasn't even looked at it yet, I just wanted to share. How do I get this to?
No,
dude, that's a nice fish.
So I've caught
that's a big
2 keepers so far this year. And my 2
how big was that? Was it a 4?
4.03. Previous was almost 5. So I'm sitting at almost 9 pounds for my 2 keepers.
That's awesome.
I'm about to hang up all my fishing gear and not touch it anymore. We're such a great start to the year.
It's all downhill from here.
Right. I mean, it's not really that great if you like do the averages, considering I've probably fished for 70 billion hours and we've caught 2 keepers so far.
That's awesome, dude. I'm jealous. Trust me.
Let's see. So Gramp said real quick about that one, and I didn't even think about that. You could probably skip with it too, but he said like finesse baitcaster shaky head. I'm not mad at that. Something that handles is meant for that stuff. Is it worth 300? I don't know. I haven't got to use it, but people ask that, and it seems to be more of a thing. And I guess I forget about that as not being a BFS deal, but just like throwing light lures. And it's not, that you can't throw it on a spinning reel. Holding a baitcaster is just more comfortable to me. Like, but if it's going to be a struggle, a spinning reel.
Okay.
But I'm not like insane about it. And that's the only thing I can like rationalize BFS is like, I do like baitcasters better, but I'm not going to go out and buy like specific BFS setups. I'll just use my spinning rod. But
I get a bunch of messages about BFF stuff on my Instagram because I'm like, into like the high end and JDM or whatever. And my exact response is BFS is stupid. I have a lot of spinning rods. End of story.
I'm the same way. And I even got one. I got a setup. I'm like, listen, I'm going to try it. Now, one thing I can think, because the rod is really parabolic, it might be fun for small cranks. So I'll have to try that just to mess around with like some real small, like 3/16 quarter ounce cranks. But I don't know. Yeah, just throw a spinning reel. So, Okay, let's get some. So sponsored tonight giveaway. I was gonna be a prick to you guys and gals watching. I was gonna try to sell the zillion giveaway, and then at the end drop you with April Fools, and then just give you like, I don't know, this dry erase marker. But I'm not gonna be a prick. Actually, that was Randy's idea, and I had to talk him out of it. I'm like, Randy, we're not gonna do that, dude.
Punch, come on, stick up for me here. That was all Debo.
I got nothing.
Punch isn't a very fun guest. He doesn't dog on Randy at all.
I'm Minnesota nice. I'm not gonna dog on anybody.
Okay.
Be on my side. I just broke my freaking phone holder, thinking this little part right here was the little knob to unscrew it.
Dude, you got Mendit. You're sponsored by Mendit. Mend that SOB up.
You're missing a crossover here. Promotion.
Yeah. Hey guys, see, I told you.
You got it
instead of having the Leatherman, he modified his Leatherman holder on his belt to hold Mendit. Anyway, of course you have 2 in case the first one runs dry. So tonight's giveaway is sponsored by Dizzle. Dizzle brought over a tub of lures. So I will send you a box of, he's probably got, what do you think, $250 worth of stuff in there? I'll send you like a $50 box. Maybe we'll do 2. I'll do a couple. And then maybe I'll save enough for a third one. So I'll do a couple giveaways tonight. You go on the whiteboard. All whiteboard giveaways, all 100 and however much I spent to ship is all gone. Rob, I do still have you as the real IOU. Don't worry. I did not forget my brother. Tim, who is Tim? Oh, Tim, box of lures for, he was either last live or the live that I did out in the garage making baits. either way. And then somebody else, I've got you in my email. I have not forgotten. Just to be sure I get everybody. Brody, I've got your stuff as well. So I was actually making some Ned heads today. They're upstairs, but I made a couple Ned heads to match your green and watermelon red and purple is what we did. Watermelon red, purple laminate Neds. So I'll throw in some of those. So tonight's giveaway for that, we're going to get one rolling here. I'm going to start firing questions. So we're going to get to some of the questions because that's what tonight was supposed to be. And we've been on tangent land, just going off on all sorts of side quests.
I mean, we did set that record, Debo.
I like the reference side quests. That's good.
We did set the record on the Burley live, not this last time, the time before, with most tangents.
Yes, we did get on a number of tangents. Okay, so I'm going to get this going here.
That's a good question.
So I'm letting you guys go first because I'm going to get the giveaway rolling on the other thing here. I have to figure out my share deal.
I know what the obvious answer is, right? We all know what the obvious. What's the obvious one?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think there is one.
Nico, right? Like
for favorite soft plastic.
Like the Mount Rushmore of soft plastics has to be topped off by a Senko, right? Just me, but anyway.
I was gonna say an 8-inch Tequila Sunrise ribbon tail worm.
I was gonna say Tequila Sunrise ribbon tail worm, not 8-inch though.
Cause I already know my favorite.
Seriously?
Yeah, no, that was like for the longest
trail.
time. That was my go-to color.
Dude, they used to be the
what
juice
was it
back in
like
the day.
6? They make a 6-inch, like a little bit smaller, and an 8-inch, right?
I think they made it was 7 in the power bait,
or 5.5, maybe 5 something.
I don't think so. Maybe
they made something smaller than a 7 or 8-inch, and that was like I would have bet my life on that. Like,
that's way above average, is what you're saying.
Like beyond, like triple average.
So I had to say the number one plastic that I've caught the most number of fish on over my entire life is easy. Strike King Rage Bug. Like that's a bait I've always had in my boat. I always use it. We have a lot of grass.
Like I figured that was going to be up there for people too, because jig trailer.
A Texas rigged Rage Bug has caught me a zillion of fish since I was 15 years old.
What was that Berkeley Crazy Legs? What was the one without the crazy legs all up on it?
Smoking Rooster?
No, it was a craw. Punch. It was almost like that X Zone that you showed earlier. It was a little bit longer.
Oh no!
I'm looking at the notes. Someone's gonna have it.
I'm sure you'll dig it up.
Yeah, I'll figure it out here. But that thing I just put on a
#box.
Chigger Craw. Chris Russ coming through.
The Berkeley Chigger Craw? That used to be my favorite craw, yeah.
The Chigger Craw.
I was never a fan of the Chigger Craw.
I didn't use it on a jig. It was just on a worm, like Texas rigged. And then they came out with, I call it the crazy leg Chigger Craw that had the extra 2 little appendi that came on the middle.
I like that. Is that even a word? Is appendi a word? I don't know, but it's good.
It is now, at least.
Appendi.
Put it
a singular appendage is an appendi.
Yeah.
That's great.
You can pluralize a singular and singulize a plural.
I love it. Appendi.
Deep thoughts and wise words of wisdom with Dizzle. Oh, that's
hey, just FYI, that's mended back on there right now. I'm not. It's still drying, but it's in the process. We'll see how it goes.
Dude, you don't got to sell us on it. You've already sold me time and time again on Mend It. So #box for the first giveaway, and I'm just going to do 2, so we don't have to do.
This is getting a little X-rated today. Box.
Punch. I was going to say
because Randy bought a box of lures here.
I wasn't going to say anything.
I had someone just message me going, box?
Oh my! Come on, guys.
Punch, you didn't realize what you said earlier, did you?
Oh, go ahead.
Like this was a while back, and I almost said something. I held it back. Nobody brought it up. You were talking about how you went real hard on the monocoque, and this is a PG show. Like you're real close to going above and beyond.
It's Saturday night, and I'm 2 whiskeys in, so we can go into PG-13 if we need to.
Yeah, we'll do an after party. We'll talk more about that stuff.
Went real hard on the monocoque, he said, for a full year.
The monocoque is very rigid.
Oh Lord. Okay, let's
real fast. Punch, I want to say the last time you were talking, or the last time that you were on live with us, you were talking about those the rigged worm extra wide hooks, right? Wasn't that you? Ringed. Yes. I actually found some of those, and I picked up a couple of packs. I'm actually super psyched to give those a shot, see how they work.
Yeah, ringed hooks are awesome. It's like a big thing up here in Minnesota and like the upper Midwest is like ringed hooks, fishing plastics in grass specifically, like milfoil, flipping coontail, flipping pads. The ringed hook is like the hook sets you get on a ringed hook are crazy. Like when you actually catch the fish and you bring it in and you see that hook like up straight through its top of its head.
Yeah, I could see. Does it feel a little bit weird, or a little bit different when you go to set the hook too, or just because it's
all the same? It's just that you get a really great hookup percentage, and when you got them pinned, they're coming out of that nasty cover we have up here in Minnesota.
Okay, yeah, I could definitely see that where you set the hook, the weight kind of goes a little bit before the actual hook comes up behind it too.
The hook, so we got your weight, you got the ring, and the hook just has freedom to just fly around. Yeah. So when a fish gets it in their mouth and you set the hook can just go wherever it needs to in the fish's mouth. You're like the hookup. Seth Fighter only fishes ringed hooks nowadays, flipping. Like he's one of us up here from Minnesota, right? It's like it's a thing. Most people don't like go into the ringed hook thing.
It'll be gone in a year.
I've been doing it for years and it's awesome. But the problem is there's only 2 companies that really make good EWG ring hooks. Gamakatsu has what's called the Superline ringed hook, and then VMC has 2 versions of the ring hook. They have a regular and an HD. So the HD is a thicker gauge. We're getting PG-13. It's thicker.
I don't know which one I got, but I got the VMCs.
So the HD VMCs are really good for flipping. Like if you're flipping an ounce, it's a really heavy cover with a flipping stick. You want the HD. But if you're fishing just regular bark grass, the regular EWG VMC is ringed is fine. So HD for flipping, heavy, non-HD for regular stuff.
Interesting.
Nick O. Robo, real quick, $5 bomb. And I was not laughing at your comment, Nick. I was going back through all the other comments, and there was some funny conversations going on. I'm at 8:32, so I'm a bit behind. I apologize. But said, thank you all, you two Gramps, for the great content y'all put out. Well, thank you, brother. Knuckles, any little bit helps. I appreciate it. I never asked for, the donations and such, but like I said, we appreciate even just a thumbs up and a comment. You don't have to donate, but we appreciate the hell out of it. So back to, let's see, let me go back to questions here because we are all sorts of behind. Oh, this one, Justin, I did want to say, Lou's Tournament MP. I wasn't huge on the MP. It was a good reel. But I think you can get that Tournament Pro or whatever, that $199 one we were just looking at on Omnia. I got that one for, actually, I didn't even get it for $150. That was back when Sportsman's Warehouse, I think, had those deals for like, dude, crazy good deals. I think I got that for like $120, like $80 off.
Sportsman Warehouse has some legit sales once in a while. You can get some.
Yeah. But I like that one, so I would say save up and get that
one. Whoa! It's our show now. What?
I was like, what the hell just happened? I clicked.
Is there a tornado that we don't know about?
I hope not, because I'm not that far away from him.
Whoop.
Oh, hey.
Wrong button.
There he is.
I pressed back on the wrong one. My bad.
Don't hit back.
Anyway, I would say save up and get that one because
have our own show there for a second.
Oh gosh, that we'd have been talking about more monocoque bodies and who knows whatever the hell else. Let's see. So I just lost all my chat. Gosh dang it. Did it say? Oh, it saved my star things. I'm sorry for skipping almost 20 minutes ahead. I just lost everything, but I do have all my starred still. Do I still have private chat? I do.
350 people on live right now, by the way.
Yeah, dude.
6 PS Joel, just best comment ever of the live. Stumpy humping the router.
Stubby humping the router.
My dog's name is Stubby. He does
We've
tend to
gone
get
from-
passionate with
We've gone from
pillows.
PG to PG-13, and we're starting to go further.
I know. Okay, so let's get the first giveaway rolling here. Maybe, who knows? Maybe we'll get crazy and do 3 here because we're an hour 14 and I'm just getting number 1 started. Okay.
Oh,
This is what I was trying to do before and I hit the wrong one, so I apologize.
if you guys want, I have a unopened JDM Bento box from the Hookup Tackle. We could see what's in here.
We can go through that. I'm not very knowing in the JDM stuff, so
Well,
yeah.
That might be fun to see what you guys
explain
think
all
of
that.
whatever the hell's in that box.
Yeah, I'm like really interested when I watch those videos of yours
All right.
because like some of that stuff is just like foreign to me. I'm like, what the hell is even that?
Well, it is because it's JDM.
Debo, put a poll and ask if we should do a live JDM Bento box unboxing. See if the people want to see it.
I got to get YouTube up for that.
Wait, hold on. Present to win. Sorry, Canadian brother and sister in.
Yes. Present to win. Jerome, are you here? And are you
Jerome, are you here? Jerome. Bueller.
Jerome. Congrats, Jerome. I like that name.
Bueller. Still waiting. Jerome, he's here.
Pong.
853.
Pong, I am not giving away my zillion. He is 853. I don't see him, but I'll take your word for it.
He is 853. I saw it in there. Jerome. Can I just say real quick, the Tatula, was it the pitch and flip? What is? I'm not sure 100%.
There's a Tatula Elite pitch flip reel.
I own it.
I have one of those.
I'm not head over heels about it.
Ooh, interesting. Why?
Really?
Why not?
It feels like I don't know if it's just being out in this kind of weather right now, that super like steady, hard, like just aggressive wind that's just blowing in your face and you're trying to pitch and stuff like that. Like 4 or 5 times now I can think of, I've pulled back. I've bird's nest all the way down to the spool.
What line are you using?
Yeah, dude, Daiwa has I think the best brakes on the market. So
I don't know what I'm doing, but I want to say it is. God, what's the yellow box, Debo? Help me out. You know it off the top of your head?
Yeah, it's Cigar Invisex.
The Invisex 17 pound, I think. And I don't know.
Throwing it on.
That's on the
Meta. Braid on my pitch flip. I use 50-pound Smackdown on mine.
Straight braid or straight braid to a leader? Doesn't matter.
Straight braid. I don't do the braid to leader. I'm not into that. I use braid to braid.
Not my thing.
Braid to the bait. I either use straight fluorocarbon or straight braid, and that's it.
Real fast before I forget about it, Debo. When I caught that 403,
403.
I felt the line afterwards because I was like, "Oh, this feels like it was stuck."
Is Walter?
Something. And I felt it, and I was like, "Oh, yep." But there's a couple of little nicks on here. I got to cut this off. And as soon as I did, I was like, "Shucks." That was on a double Shindo knot, and I really liked it. I tied it up really nice, and then I was like, "Man, I don't remember how to tie that damn thing to save my life."
That was me punching Dizzle. I wish he's here because all the crap he talked about.
You would have to like. This is hold on. This is me punching you right here. God, we went to a special kind of short bus right there. I was bummed out that I couldn't remember how to tie that knot.
Oh,
and I just went straight.
I'll teach you, Randall.
Palomar. Like I've done it a few times, and it was that nice little barrel. I watched your video. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a really handsome guy on YouTube that does
Debo's
videos
fault
of it.
It's Debo's fault then, because it's his video.
It was very handsome-handed Debo, where you didn't actually have to look at his face.
That's right. I definitely am not a face
video.
Yep.
That's why I have this thing. Right
it's fun. I love doing those.
I haven't done one.
Chad.
Of those
Punch will probably get this too. So with the black dirt and he did say Minnesota. I didn't see that. Iowa, Minnesota.
Did the lakes ever turn black or super dark like after? Okay, so Not really. So we have some Minnesota lakes that are around farm country. So we have some lakes out in like outside the metro that are like in straight up farm country. And when there is a heavy rain, a lot of the runoff from the farmlands go down into the lakes and make them a little slimy and a little dark, but not it's a specific area of lakes that does that, but for the most part, not really.
Yeah, same here. We have a lot of the man-made lakes like out in the middle of nowhere, but a lot of them they've installed silt ponds, which is to help with that so they don't muddy up, you know, essentially routing, kind of like you do if you're farming, you know, instead of doing like a grass waterway to, you know, running everything off so it's not in your crops, you know, they do a silt pond to help pull all that and keep it from doing that as much. But yeah, I mean, we have some places out in the middle of nowhere that definitely do.
Yeah, there are some that, you know, you pull up to it and, you know, the day after a storm, a couple days after a storm, and you're just like, you pull up and you're like, oh yeah,
That's
you're
anywhere
used
though.
to the other, you're used to the other places that have the good, I guess if you want to lack of a better term, filtration to keep all the nastiness out of there. You pull up to some of them and you're like, this is chocolate milk is offended by like
Chocolate milk is
by
offended.
this water.
That's good. That's good alliteration. I like that. Nice.
Adam, okay, best skipping and pitching rod.
Ooh.
So I'm probably not the guy to ask because I will pretty much take any medium heavy I'm using and just turn it into a skipping rod. I don't get crazy on it. Like I'm not a guy that goes and, you know, does docks all day on the boat. So like I'll make what I have work, but if you guys got a preferred, what is it?
I'm going to say Punch, this one's going to kind of be on you because I don't skip.
Oh gosh. Okay, so my answer is going to probably not like people are going to be mad about this, but like Megabass makes a rod called the Super Destroyer. So they've made it in the JDM Destroyer line for a long time, but then they kind of relaunched the Super Destroyer in the P5 line. So I'm speaking to the high end nerds here, but like it's a smaller, shorter rod with a really soft tip. That's
what I was going to say. One thing, no matter what brand you use, especially if you're a bank angler, go a little bit shorter and make sure it's got just enough tip, like instead of a regular, like fast or extra fast, a little bit of softness to help load that.
I have to preface this though. A really good dock skipper can skip with anything. Like if you give Gerald Swindell any rod you have in your arsenal, he's probably going to be able to skip perfectly fine with it. Like
I think that's practice. Yeah, I think that's just practice.
Technique. It's a really feel. You don't need high end or really fancy equipment to skip really well. It's literally just muscle memory, feel, mechanics, trajectory matched with the motion, matched with your thumb control, matched with how comfortable you are with whatever reel you're fishing. So like you don't need a specific setup to really dock skip efficiently. So I just want to preface that. Like if you just practice really well and what you have, you can probably skip pretty well. It just takes a lot of practice. Skipping efficiently is a skill. It's a technique thing, right? That being said, if you really want to get gear that will help you if you're not as good at it. So like say you're not a Gerald Swindell because on the water, 300 days a year, it could skip 1,000 times and just get really good at it with whatever freaking gear you have. Going with a slightly shorter rod with a really forgiving spool, like an SV spool, like any Daiwa SV spool is really forgiving for dock skipping, and a shorter rod with a slightly softer tip, and then really good, decent fluorocarbon. Like you want good line that's got some softness to it. That will help you accelerate your dock skipping, like learning. You know what I mean? Like I don't dock skip all the time. But when I do, I like having a setup that I know I can skip really well under.
I don't dock skip all the time, but when I do,
I want to have a bougie setup. So I personally use the Megabass P5 Super Destroyer with a Steez SV. So it's the magnesium Steez with the SV spool. But a regular Tatula SV is perfectly fine as well. So I would say go with like a 7-foot or to 6'8", 7-foot, like a slightly shorter rod with an SV spool with some good quality fluorocarbon. I usually skip with just like Seeger and Henry.
Donation.
There you go. But anyway.
Sorry, I thought you saw that one.
The point is, though, you can have the best dock skipping setup in the world, but if you haven't dock skipped 60, 70 times, you're going to still screw it up. It's a technique.
Practice over gear. It's like anything. Using a bait caster, practice over gear.
skipping is all technique. It's like shooting a jump shot. You got to shoot that jump shot 1,000 times before you just do it without thinking. Same thing with skipping docks.
What do they say? Some doing the same thing for
Mike.
20,000 hours or something makes you an expert, something like that.
No, they say a
10,000.
novice will do it until they get it right, and an expert will do it until they can't get it wrong.
If you do something 10,000 times, you're an expert.
10,000. That's what it was.
What is it? 100 hours. If you spend 100 hours a year doing something, you're more proficient, 95% more proficient than.
I could have $1,000 set up and skip a dock, and then Gerald Swindell could come next to me with a $100 setup.
Yep.
Way better and way deeper than I could.
Yes.
It's about technique. So
Mike, our friend Mike Dove in the chat. What's up, my man? With a $20 bomb. Thank you, dude. Mike over at Thunderhawk, good cat. Man, I am the last time we talked, I think he said they were gonna have like a drop shot bait or something, which y'all know I am not a drop shot fan, but I do like new lures. So I'm sure I could find.
That's interesting.
I would rather have somebody pull my fingernails off than fish a drop shot.
Wow, that's shocking to me. Okay,
I'll throw a Ned rig all day. I break it off, I tie a new one on. Great. Drop shot, I don't want to sit and spend 57 hours to retie a new leader and a new hook and find the weight and get my I'll just fish a Ned rig.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And I know they work, and I fish them sometimes.
I love a drop shot.
Yeah.
You had a second donation after that too.
Oh yes. Okay. So Mike, he said to help
Mike.
with the JDM baits, we'll need to buy that. JDM equals Japanese dollar multiplier.
It's a $100 hookup tackle box we could pop open.
Is that somebody else asked that? So how much are the JDM bento box? Is that $100?
$100 a month.
Oh my gosh.
Is it okay? So is that the
fans.
one where there's like X number that are sent out? There's like say 500 or whatever.
Yeah. So long story short is for the last year or two of the bento box, it was 200 subscribers. So he did 200 boxes, and he recently opened it up to 400. So he expanded like this month. So they added another 200 people to the subscription program, from what I've heard. So now it's 400 people this is the last box of the 200 people box. The next month's box is going to be out to 400 people.
Punch, this is just a question between you and I. Nobody else is listening.
Okay.
Nothing like that. One, do you think the quality of the box is going to drop now that there's 400 people out there? And two, when it was the lower amount, the 200 amount of people, was the box worth it?
That is okay. I got to be careful how I answer these questions because Ben from Hookup Tackle will get mad at me. He's gotten mad at me in the past, actually. So we had a little. Okay. So first off, anybody who's subscribed to the Bento knows that you're getting $100 worth of stuff. There's no deals here. He puts $100 of retail stuff into a $100 box.
It's more of, hey, this is some cool stuff you'll never come across in your local tackle shop. Check it out.
But also, it's a little bit of Ben, who owns the Hookup Tackle. It's his favorite stuff. So it's like if you go to you guys ever go to a fancy restaurant and you let the chef do the menu. The bento box is Ben being the chef saying, I'm just going to put cool shit in the box and you're going to pay for it.
Gotcha. I mean, I'm not mad at that whatsoever. Yeah. 100%.
So it's just Ben is the hardcore tackle nerd. He knows everything there is to know about foreign JDM tackle. He's like, I'm going to craft a box every month of stuff that excites me. I'm going to put it out to people who really want to pay that $100 for it. So it's like subscribing to a wine thing or a whiskey thing, or just like it's like you're just trusting the person who sends you the stuff that they know what they're talking about or know. Sure.
So follow-up question: do you have the name of the whiskey thing?
No, I don't. I don't subscribe to any whiskeys.
Wait, I can't see, but that's an empty bottle.
Fancy.
Right there.
Yeah, Johnny Walker. That's Johnny Walker.
Blue label.
Nice. I'm drinking some Rittenhouse rye tonight, by the way. Not expensive, but it tastes good. So the thing though is Ben at the Hookup Tackle has really good contacts at Megabass, and he has Megabass make special colors just for him and his shop and for the Bento box subscribers.
Dang.
But every box comes with a 110 Megabass Vision 110 jerkbait, and a Pop Max that only Ben gets that color. So he sells so much stuff with Megabass that Megabass basically says, Ben, what would you like this month? And he says, I would like this color in these 2 baits. And Megabass
That's
goes,
pretty cool.
Okay.
I can see a bunch of tackle hoarder nerds getting on that because like there's only because does he sell those then too, or is it only the box you get it?
You can only get the colors that Ben organizes with Megabass through the Bento, and there's an aftermarket for Bento Megabass colors. So a lot of people on Facebook try to flip the colors that come in this because a lot of Megabass collectors go crazy.
Really?
So a lot of Megabass collectors go nuts that they can't get the colors that Ben has Megabass produce unless you're a Bento subscriber. So people buy the Bento box, and then if they don't particularly like the 110 or Pop Max color that month, they'll just throw it on Facebook for like 3x the cost, and someone will buy it. Because there's a lot of Megabass nerds out there that want to collect all the colors.
So Bass Daddy,
it's like a Pokemon and cards and everything. You got to collect them all.
Jerkbait Pokemon.
People go crazy for that. Bass Daddy with the $5 bomb said, Punch, unbox the Bento.
All right, let's do it.
Guys some bougie stuff. I'm going to get the other giveaway rolling here. We'll do one more.
I got to find my knife.
Sometime in the middle of this. Tim, I did want to say, Tim, the improved San Diego Jam. Yes, the doubled over, and I don't think it's the improved. I think just the regular doubled over San Diego Jam is what I used to tie for braid. And you want to talk about a knot that will never, ever, ever, ever slip. That is it for braid. Takes a while to tie. Now I just tie the double shindo. Hope for the best because I
use that knot too.
But... Okay, so we're gonna get to unboxing. I'm gonna bring this up here real quick. Roll a giveaway while he's getting that kit open. And
so I was saving this box to make a video out of, but we're just gonna do it here.
What, dude? You can save it and make a video.
I'm excluding a video on my feed for you, Debo.
Okay, here we go. We'll go extra for it then. I'll do another giveaway since Punch is doing that.
350 people watching. Let's make the most
of it worth it.
I
saw Rob in there.
I'm gonna get your guys' unbridled opinions on these things.
B-Horn, are you here?
B-Horn.
Horn.
B-Horn.
The Horn of Gondor. Anybody know that reference? Where are my nerds at?
Lord of the Rings thing?
Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
Gondor? Yeah.
Yes. Here's a good one while we're waiting. This or that, jackhammer, regular or stealth? Both.
Regular.
I think, dude, both. I think the stealth blade gets crapped on too much, and it's not meant to be a jackhammer.
909. Send Debo an email. They'll put it up on the screen.
Oh yes.
Shortly.
Oh crap. I'm so sorry. Jerome, my bad. Jerome, please, and you as well, B-Horn, email me debosfishing@gmail.com with a screenshot of your YouTube so I know it's you, and then your address. And if there's a special way you like to fish as well, put that in there because I'll try to cater to you. That's something I've kind of been doing too, just so you get, like, if you're like me and you hate drop shot stuff and I were to send you a bunch of drop shot stuff, you'd be like, well, Debo's a prick. So I'm not going to do that. So let me know if there's a special way or stuff you like to fish.
Oh, you're on the whiteboard now. You're official.
You are official. Stole it from Marling. Sorry, Marling. Let's see. Okay, so we're good there. Okay, Punch.
I'm gonna
go for it.
I'm gonna open box. I'm gonna let you guys just talk about it. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna influence any of this. Okay.
Go full screen on Punch then.
Let us. Yeah, we'll go.
Okay.
We'll go solo view.
No, let's do.
We'll give our thoughts.
Well,
first.
Okay, we'll do. Well, I want you guys. Okay.
Okay, as you open it.
I did this once with Rich Hellabass, and I got in trouble because I opened the box and let Rich talk about it, and Rich kind of crapped on a lot of the boxes or a lot of the stuff in here, and it caused a little bit of a drop, like a little bit of a rift. So be nice. That's my point.
That doesn't make any sense. Like,
I'm just
my opinion. You know.
No, I know, but like, anyway. Long story short, I'm still in the subscriber program. We're good. Okay. So I'm just gonna go.
Oh, Rich is in here. Just FYI. He
what?
Said, I would never.
Oh, Hellabass has got me in a little bit of trouble with the subscription.
Rich, you can jump in too if you want.
Okay. I'm gonna start. I already know.
Do we want to pause to see if Hella wants to jump in and do
a
3-way here?
Yeah. Rich, you can jump in and give your thoughts. That's fine.
Okay. I'm gonna open. I already know what's in the
No,
box
you said.
because I watched Hookup Tackles, but I'm gonna start with the weirdest bait in this box, and this is kind of like a fun one he threw in. It's called the Bullet. It's a topwater.
That looks like a musky lure. That looks just like a musky topwater.
That
Okay.
literally looks like a bullet, like a giant bullet. Yeah.
So I've heard of things people have said this thing looks like, and it's not a musky lure. It's
oh gosh.
it's
sticking
it's something you would buy
tonight.
for your wife on Valentine's Day.
I get it. No, there is a musky
Expensive
lure
dinner.
called the
I'm taking it out of the package here. So this is
where's my musky guys
made.
at?
And it's
Boilermaker? They call it the Boilermaker, I think.
It's called the Bullet. It's literally.
I meant the musky one. No, sorry, the musky.
Oh, you're talking about Leeds Lures Boilermaker, but the Boilermaker has legs that come off with a paddle, like a flappy piece of metal.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you're right. Like the body is very not a Boilermaker. Flap 9 or Flap 8 if you're a musky.
Flap tail. Somebody said flap tail.
Look at the back of that. That's badass.
Oh, it looks like a bullet.
That is pretty cool. Yeah,
Wild
that is pretty
Lures
sweet.
Bullet.
So is it a walking bait?
It's a topwater bait.
Like
does anyone want to guess the size on or the weight on this thing? Because it doesn't
2
say.
1/4.
I was gonna say I think it's big.
It literally doesn't say on the package. I'm looking at it.
It's weightless.
It's a solid. No, it's floats.
It's actually a weightless Cinco.
It's jerking, twitching, stop and go. It literally doesn't say the weight on any of the packaging, but it's the Bullet.
Huh.
I mean, yeah, it looks like
I think it's cool. I'm down to try new stuff. I mean,
does it feel heavy?
It's super heavy. Like this thing is at least an ounce, probably 3/4. At least it's definitely an ounce or more. Does anyone in the chat know how much the Bullet weighs? Someone in chat probably.
I've seen a 1.75. I don't know. These our guesses are now 1.75, 1.5.
Someone says, "Does it vibrate?" You have to pay extra for that. But anyway,
and Hella, and you're saying Hella got me in trouble. Okay.
Yeah, Hella got me in trouble.
No,
yeah,
I'm getting myself in trouble. Everybody says this looks like a female self
thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Lightning.
We don't want to get demonetized now, do we? Okay. So this is a Blastmaster Classic bake that is in the box. Have you guys checked out the
Oh Lord, DEBO'S upset.
The dark sleeper and the gill I was not a fan of. So
I love
I haven't used either or really.
So there's a sleeper crown here. It's
interesting though. I think it's an interesting lure.
It's a football jig. I said this in my video that I posted recently. It's basically a football jig without a skirt. That's all it is. It's a football jig.
Right.
It's a piece of lead. It's got a craw on it. It's pre-rigged. It's a pre-rigged football jig with no skirt. That's pretty.
I was gonna say naked football jig, but we're trying to go a different route here.
Yeah. So if you want to spend $10 on a pre-rigged out of the box Megabass football jig, here you go. All right. So we got
what color? What color is that?
It's some water. I'm not taking it out of the package because I'll probably end
up. Yeah. No worries.
It's a watermelon pepper. Anyway.
Okay.
This is probably the most hyped bait from the Bassmaster Classic. Can we all agree? Like most people were talking about this more than anything that was dropped at Bassmaster Classic. Like I saw more social media posts about this damn thing.
Dude, it's anything. The sleeper, the gill, like people go crazy over these. And I don't get it. Now, maybe from a boat, like people, a lot of these people are boat anglers, but yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't a fan.
I'm going to save the 110 Pop Max. We got some. So do you guys know Duo Realis is like a big plastic maker?
I do have some Duo stuff. Yes.
I want to say I might have come across some of those too. Maybe.
No, actually, I might be confusing that with.
What are those?
I think I have the Duo popper.
So this is a Duo Realis Ned rig bait. This is Japan specific. So it's called the ND Slim 3.0. I'll take it out of the package here.
Is that almost like a little salamander type of thing, or not quite?
It's a Ned bait. It's probably just a stick of plastic.
I love me some Ned rigs.
We're gonna open it up.
Does it smell like squid?
What does squid smell like? I live in Minnesota. I don't know what a lot of
Kitech. Like, does it smell like that Kitech squiddy? I feel like that's big on the JDM stuff. That's cool.
It has a lot of little bumps to it.
That feels like the first time I try to use Play-Doh.
It's a Ned rig bait. It doesn't smell like anything specific. It's Duo.
I like it.
So Duo makes a lot of plastics for other companies and a lot of hard baits for other companies. Like they have a really like legit manufacturing facility. So like Duo is like a lot of companies make stuff and they send the designs to Duo and they spit it out. So anyway, this is their house brand, the Wriggle Slim Ned Bait. All right, so we've got the Bullet, we've got a sleeper craw, and we've got the Ned Bait. Remember, $100.
I take the Ned Bait over the sleeper craw.
We have another Duo plastic, the Wriggle Crawler, almost 6 inch.
Ooh, yes. So are we talking
Those
like
look really
good, bent worms?
We're gonna open her up because I got her.
What was the old? So there was like the Flick Shake. There was one from I think OSP made one.
Flick Shake is Jackal.
No, yeah, I know that. I think OSP made like the Wave.
Yeah, OSP has a. I don't remember the OSP Dolive Crawler. I think it's called.
Oh no. I don't
know. This is like a pretty standard.
Oh, it's not though.
This is like a pretty standard 6-inch finesse worm. You know how I would fish this thing? Just picking it up right now. This would definitely be a wacky rig.
Oh yeah,
dude.
I would drop shot wacky this right.
Inchy wacky. The inchy wacky technique is what they use with the bent worm. Constantly moving it on the bottom
at all.
So it's really thin in the middle. Where my fingers are pitching it is the thinnest part of this bait, and then it's thick on both ends. So I'm assuming they probably want you to like Nico rig or Flick Shake this thing, like with a weighted wacky hook. So weighted wacky hook, maybe you could Nico this thing, but definitely weighted wacky or a drop shot.
Is that like a natural earthworm color type?
All these colors are in Japanese, so I have no. You can't read the actual colors.
No, like just looking at it, like tell me what like does that look like a natural?
Like a natural. It's like a purpley. It's like a purpley earth. It's like a regular earthworm color. Like if I threw this on my floor, I think a worm came in the house.
Yeah, I like those. Those seem to be big JDM because that same worm I'm trying to think of, they had one that was like a natural looking.
I will say there's a lot of damn worms in
the package. Actually, do I still have some of those? That used to be an
old drink.
So you know what my favorite thing of this is? There's like 15 worms in this package. Like
that's nice.
Like there's a ton of them in here. Look
like in the past, like any boxes that I've gotten before, and this isn't like these boxes aren't the same as the boxes I've got in the past, but all of those boxes are just crap where they're like, oh, here's a box or here's a pack in this box. It might look awesome and you might want more of these, but you get 2 of them. So that's good. It's like an actual legit. I assume that's how they come.
This is a regular package.
Buy them.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
There's 15 worms in here.
That's
Debo?
Nice.
Debo, is that a mess, dude?
Dude, it's absolute tore up. So okay,
dude, you are this close to being like a hoarder.
You can't really see it. This doesn't turn because it's clipped up here. So over here is all rod and reel stuff I've been undoing. Over here, so this was, I filmed an unboxing, and then I brought a whole bunch of subscribed fishing friends sent me stuff to get ready to do the unboxing, but I haven't cleaned up this unboxing yet. I basically take it day by day. I don't even know if I'm gonna.
Your basement is a hot mess, bro.
Absolute trash pit right now.
We got more. This JDM Bento box is plastic heavy. We got something from.
That's for sure a drop shotty bait, huh?
Issei called the
maybe not
super stick. So it's basically like a stick bait with a little tiny.
I like
paddle
that.
sail.
That reminds me of the old which was I think highly underrated was the Yum. Yum had one that it was like the paddle tail dinger, and then Gary Yamamoto has one that's like a stick bait with a paddle tail on it. I don't remember what they are. Kind of a cool different look to stick baits.
So this is from.
Oops.
So how would you guys fish this? It's basically got a little teeny tiny paddle tail, but it's essentially a stick bait.
Chatterbait trailer. I'm thinking Nico rig.
Nico definitely because it's got a thick chunk in the middle of the hook. Nico rig, ball head jig maybe, and just kind of throw it on.
I would probably.
I'm not going to be
good half of it off and use the back end as a trailer for.
I am not going to lie. This plastic does not thrill me whatsoever.
I actually like that one, and you know what? I think that might also do really well. Does it float or no? I would say on like a split shot rig.
Is mine.
I feel like those natural looking little like spin-offs of stick baits, something just a little bit different. Like back in the day, they used to have the ribbed stick bait, which kind of morphed into the ringworm for throwing on wacky.
Okay.
I feel like giving them just a bit of a different look on those does help.
So I'm gonna like make a very Minnesotan reference, but like almost you could probably jig worm this thing. Like throw it on just a straight jig head and just throw it out and do nothing. Like, do you guys jig worm at all down in Iowa? It's a big.
We don't have it here. We don't call it that. We call it we call it a shaky head. A poor man's shaky head is where you take a regular jig head and put a plastic on it.
Okay. So in Minnesota, it's a very like common tournament technique is the jig worm. So you take a stick bait like this thing or a 5-inch Senko, you put
it on a jig head.
You bite it down a little bit, but you throw on a really light jig head. You take a spinning rod, you fire out the jig worm in like some grass or like a grass edge, and you literally do nothing. You want that jig worm to just kind of float down and sit at the top of the grass pile, and then maybe kind of work its way down in there. And you do nothing. You just sit on slack line and you just kind of like reel up every once in a while and just kind of give it a little pop and see if it's still moving.
Yeah, it's what we all used to do as kids when we didn't know what we were doing with plastics, and it's come back around as like a big phenomenon. I always like chuckle when I hear
the jig worm in Minnesota is a proven tournament technique. Like people catch big fish on just soak. They call it in Minnesota, we call it soaking a Senko or soaking a worm is the jig worm, where you literally just fire it out on the lightest head possible and just let it float down and just do nothing. You sit and check your phone, you have a drink, you do nothing, and then you just reel up and like, do I have a fish? Oh, I do.
I hear a Minnesota guy protecting this name of this bait, but it's just a poor man's shaky head.
When I see this, I think this could be jig worm.
But anyway, he says,
yeah. Okay.
You can't just ignore it, Punch. I'm trying to give you crap. Come on.
No, it's fine.
You're from Minnesota. I'm from Iowa.
We're all in the same we're all in the same region.
I know.
Okay. This is a combination thing. DEBO'S has what's called a bumble shad with a bumble head. This is also in the JDM Bento box. Okay. You guys know anything about this?
On this one. I do not, but that looks like a ledge head. Actually, Hank Baskey has
like a swim, like a dart head.
It's a half
ledge head things like that. So yeah, it looks like dragon.
It's got a weed guard.
Dragon ledges with that is what I would say.
You know what we don't have in Minnesota? Ledges.
So
this is not
skip that under a dock.
This is definitely a bait that's not gonna like.
I bet like deep grass lines. You could run that on deep grass lines on the edges of it.
I will say the color that. Oh, wait, this is actually.
You know what else I see as those? The back of a buzz toad trailer. I bet those would be good
for a buzz bait. Okay, let's take out a package and see. I don't know how to open this thing. I've actually never touched a bumble shad DEBO'S in my life. This is the first time I've ever touched one of these.
I've never even heard of those. Looks cool though, because it looks like it has a pretty big tail, like the paddle part.
I'm honestly kind of like, how the fuck do you open this thing? There we go.
Carefully.
Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna get one out.
Debo, I'll be right back. Don't kick me out of here.
Who's got a bio break?
Okay, good luck. Okay,
so this thing has a big old belly.
Oh wow. Yeah, I bet that'd be cool on there.
So this is like, to me, this is black and blue with a little smoke. So it's kind of a clear pearlescent with it's kind of a smoke.
I like that.
Black and blue. So apparently
that would be good.
On the bumble head.
I bet that would be good on like a flashy, like a belly weighted flashy swimmer too.
You know the odds of me throwing this? Zero.
Really? Dude, run that on a flashy swimmer on grass edges?
Oh,
I think that'd be good.
This is not a bait that I typically throw. So maybe I'll have to try it.
That's like, what is that? Like 4.5 inches?
It is a 4-inch bait. It's pretty heavy.
Yeah, that's perfect.
This thing's got a lot of meat to it. Has anybody in chat thrown the bumble shad from DEBO'S? I want to know if people have like actually caught fish with this. But yeah. So this head is very similar to the Megabass body balance head. So apparently these are supposed to go together.
I like it.
Okay. I'm a little apprehensive. We'll see.
I think the other fun thing about like JDM stuff that like from a lot of the JDM guys that I talk to is just throwing something completely different. Like it's not like you're not throwing a rage crawl. You're not like they just like to, you know, throw stuff that's a little bit different. And I'm not mad at that. Like
this is definitely different.
That's fun. That is a little on the side of different.
The bullet musky bait. You put a blade on the back of here and you got a musky bait. Okay. So this is going to be the special edition 110 and the Pop Max. So these are the Ben's exclusive colors. I'll take it out. It's called GP Crack Lime Chartreuse.
I was going to say key lime pie was going to be my guess.
Okay.
I like it.
So it's got a
kind of like a translucent, almost clown look to it.
Yeah, it's super I'll take it out of the package here in a second. But anyway, this is the exclusive 110 and Pop Max colors. I'll take the 110 out first. Dude, I got so many. I've been on this JDM Bento box subscription for over a year. I have bins full of 110s now, like that I haven't even gotten wet.
Damn, fancy pants.
Well, no, it's just I don't fish that much. So it's like I mean I fish a lot, but I don't fish jerk baits every single time I go out and fish, right? So like
do those have the outside? You might know, being a huge Megabass guy, what's the deal with the barb on the outside for the hooks? Have they given
barb is a Megabass thing? So our out barb hooks are definitely a Megabass specific thing for these particular hooks. So anyway,
do they feel like it helps hookup ratio or anything?
Oh yeah, dude, you can. So when a fish just kind of slaps at one of these things, if they just get the outside of their face, like it'll hook them up. Like they don't have to eat this thing like full on in their mouth to get a decent hookup. Especially if you fish these 110s with a spinning rod, even is great, or a soft casting rod. You want a little give on these things, and if a fish just kind of swipes at these things, you can land them. So anyway, this is I
like that color.
Yeah, so this is a very exclusive color. Apparently, it is called GP Crack Lime Chartreuse. So what Ben does is he goes through Megabass's color catalog. And he looks at a bunch of colors that were offered in other baits, like say crankbaits or topwater baits, like colors that have never been offered in a 110 or a Pop Max. He goes, I want that color. And then he has them make it. I like this.
That's pretty neat that he has that kind of like buying power with, you know, his place. I don't shop there much, but you know, I've shopped there before and had really good luck. And that's cool to see, you know, those smaller.
Yeah.
Because he's not a big shop, right? I mean, it looks like a pretty.
He sells a lot of Megabass.
Is he big?
So I think he's
the
like
shop itself.
I think he's literally one of the like number one Megabass sellers in the country. And he speaks.
That's crazy.
One thing about Ben is he speaks fluent Japanese. He's an amazing Japanese.
Wow.
Like, he can speak fluent Japanese. So he goes to Japan and has meetings and talks to all these people. And he's sick. Yeah, Ben's a very smart businessman. He knows what he's doing. So anyway, this is the 110 that it comes with. But the thing is, like, I'm sorry, the Pop Max. So things like Pop Maxes, fish only really see this. So you got the chartreuse hit on the top. That is really
huge if you're throwing that in, like, if you've got stained water and it's like, you know, a little overcast where you lose that bait, you know, those conditions, that's perfect for if you want like that translucent, but you can see it.
So fish are kind of only seeing this, but you as an angler, you see this.
Yeah. Yeah.
when you know when something eats it, I guess.
Yeah. That's something that, gosh, who makes that? The, walking bait.
Someone said
it doesn't matter.
The bullet for release, that is a Super Mario deep cut. The bullet, because that is one of the villains that tries to kill you in the Super Mario's games, is the giant bullets that come across the screen.
Yep.
Chris, that's genius call out right there.
Okay, let's do
excellent.
I'm gonna get another giveaway rolling while you're getting the next. How many more baits do you have in there? That's it. Oh, okay. So I think that's pretty cool. I mean,
so we have the exclusive 110 in the Pop Max in this crazy chartreuse color. We have a depths swim bait system called the Bumble Shad and the Bumble Head, which is totally not up my alley, but I'm sure some people are probably stoked about that. We got the weird old Issei Super Stick baits. So there's a lot of plastics in this. We got some duo baits. And And then we got the sleeper craw and the you should give it to your wife on Valentine's Day cow colored bullet. So that's $100 right there.
Yeah, I think so. The cool thing I think about that box, I've never seen any of these. I've never watched. I know you do the JDM Bento unboxings. I've honestly never watched one because it's like that's what I always heard is it's like a limited number. So I'm not going to be able to get one anyway, so it doesn't matter. But the appeal that I see watching this for the first time is so obviously I've partnered up with Megabass or not Megabass, Monster Bass.
Monster Bass.
The Monster Bass box is something that you can get, off the shelf. You could go buy all those separately. The appeal that I see to a lot of people like this, especially tackle hoarders, is one, not even talking about the limited stuff. One, it's stuff that like you're not going to see in any other box or any other, like unless you're shopping JDM, like I could see that being appealing. And then two, like the thing of the special colors, like I could see a bunch of bait nerds really getting on that. So yeah, I think it's cool. I think a little expensive for me, but like you said, he's not trying to make it a save money thing. It's just here's some cool stuff that you can't get anywhere else. So
yeah, I definitely like seeing it. It's definitely, I don't know as if I would have used a whole lot of those lures, but I definitely would. If it was a little bit different, like if somebody was like, oh, hey, you want to check out this lure, you want to give this a shot, you want to try this, you want to try that, definitely would have.
You got it. So you're going to use it. It's like, I got it. I'll give it a try. Okay. Yeah. Third giveaway of the night is fishing with MJ Haas. Big Haas. You're the winner.
Woo!
Nice.
MJ Haas. He's got a big fish in that picture. Holy cow.
It is. Is that a bat? That's a bass.
Large head.
I think it's a giant.
Fishing with MJ. Are you here?
What are you giving away on this one?
Fishing
this is
with
just
MJ is here.
Third piece of Randy's box.
Do I want to know?
No, just listen, you guys, get your mind out of the gutter. He gave me a big box of baits, and I'm splitting it in thirds. So
I got a random question. Randy, are you married?
No.
Do you have a girlfriend?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just checking. I know what Randy's like status is. Well, I'm sure there's a lot of ladies watching that are curious.
His box status. Hey, come on.
He went on mute there, so I don't know what he's talking about.
I had a bad connection here on my computer.
Oh, you were ranting about something.
I was gonna say there's maybe
what Randy rant? No. So did you guys see MJ Haas? I'm going back up. I didn't.
Yes, MJ Haas was here.
Is he here? Okay.
Yep.
Fishing with MJ Haas. So MJ
Haas, put your
email.
Yep.
Yes.
Email him again. For the other two winners, email Debo just as a reminder. Dang it, Punch! I was going to say something.
No, go ahead.
Oh, the big thing I saw is somebody already said it in the chat, but thanks, dude. That was awesome that you took the time to go through those.
Yeah, thanks for
one of your
things cutting the video too.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I don't know. I just thought you guys might want to nerd out on some of this.
No,
I open up the Bento boxes every month, and it's always like, okay, what did Ben throw in this month from Hookup Tackle? So it's very entertaining to like see what he wants people to like try out. But also it's weird. Okay, if you guys owned a tackle, so they're based out of Arizona. So if you're down in Arizona, like the southern part of the country, and you're like trying to make a box that people are buying it from New York and Oregon and Texas and Florida, like you got like people all over the country that are trying to buy or buying this thing. Like it would be hard to like figure out what everyone would like in the box. Do you know what I mean?
Because
I would be like stressful.
Watching any type of unboxings or things like that. It doesn't have to be fishing related. It can be anything related. Like trying to look at those things, a monthly subscription box, and thinking, okay, what's going to cover all of the bases of everybody that's ordered this box? That's got to be a super, super tough thing. And even more so, it's got to be even more of a struggle to offer people in, primarily I would have to assume in the United States, some fishing like gear from across the pond. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, definitely hats off to them for putting this box together and just, at least throwing it out there so people have the ability to try some of these, crazy off the wall things,
Yeah, some stuff I've thrown from the bento box and I don't get it, and then some stuff I've thrown and it's now like one of my regular baits. Like there's a plastic that they threw in there's a specific plastic, and I don't want to talk about it, but it's a shrimp style plastic. So Ben put a shrimp style plastic in one of the bento boxes many, many, many months ago, and now it is literally one of my go-to free rig baits out in Wisconsin. I smash on it and I love it. And like, it's a bait that the fish don't see. They go crazy for it. And like, I would have never been clued into this bait unless I was on the bento box. It's called it's an OSP bait. It's a shrimp bait. But anyway, I wouldn't have known about it if I wasn't in the bento box subscription. And now that I do, I have like 10 packages of these things in my boat, and I use them all the time for smallmouth fishing. And the fish go crazy on them.
So can I just ask real quick as a generalized question, the idea or the concept of the fish haven't seen it, how extreme do you have to get, or how extreme do you have to go away from the norm?
That's a good point, Dizzle.
In order to like
I teeter on that
fish?
all the time. I teeter on that all the time saying that phrase. Like,
it depends on how pressured your waters are, right? Like I think it's a lake by lake place. Like it's a lake by lake specific thing. Cause like I live in the Twin Cities, like Minneapolis, St. Paul, and we have certain like 10 or 11 lakes are just pounded all the time by tournaments, and everyone throws literally the same 15 things, right?
Pounded by the monocoque. Got
it. Usually pounded by a D-bomb, to be honest. The D-bomb nickname. You don't understand how popular the D-bomb is up in Minnesota. Everybody,
dude, I love them. They're pretty popular around here too.
There's two baits that are flipped unanimously up here: the D-bomb and the crayfish. What's the crayfish bait that Big Bites has? The craw tube.
BFP.
Craw tube.
Oh.
Craw tube and D-bomb are like every Minnesota tournament angler has a big bag of D-bombs and a big bag of craw tubes, and everyone fishes them. So like, if you can get something that's out of those two lanes, you're probably okay.
So that's what I always think is funny too, is because like when you get on that bite, it's like, and it's so hard because even if you switch, like you get on that bite and you're like, okay, I found this secret lure. Listen, I know it's showing them something different. I know I'm getting them different bites, but it's like, how much of that is in your head? And you're like, you're just that much more confident with it versus even if you switch baits. I feel like I've done it before and I subconsciously am like not fishing as hard or as good as with the other one. When I switch, I'm like, so I can prove myself right. I'm like, nope, that's bull crap. I switched to this one. I didn't get any bites. I switched back to this one. I was on it. It's like, I feel like subconsciously everybody always wants to find that one hidden or like a couple hidden secret lure that nobody else knows about. And it's like, dude, I throw it on this lake. Nobody else can catch them. And so I go both ways with it. It's like, maybe that one little change is.
Is there any real science to be able to determine? Because I remember like seeing stuff in the past. You're like, oh, a fish has a memory of 2 seconds or some crazy stuff like that. So is there really a science to the fact of if everybody and their mom throws a D-bomb, sorry, Debo.
D-bombs work.
If they all throw it, is it the fact that
got one here at the ready
bait just works?
They just work.
Can I throw something pretty
like
similar to a D-bomb?
Even places that get pounded, like you can still throw a Cinco and catch fish. Like some baits are just weird like that,
I think how someone goes, welcome to Off the Rails with whiskey fueled punch on the DEBO'S.
Oh my God. And yeah, Austin Hall, I was just something at because I've still got 5-starred and then 3 of Randy's that I never got to. We'll make it up to you guys. Maybe I'll do a surprise live this week and it'll be questions only.
Whatever you do, don't look at Hella's comment at 9:40.
Oh my God. I just
don't love Rich. Oh, that is great.
Oh my Lord, you guys. Okay, here's the deal. We're at 2 hours. Let's each grab a question. No, I'm gonna grab the questions for us because I've already got them here. We're gonna answer 3 questions, rapid fire, and then we're getting out of here. 3 questions. Okay, you ready? Here we go. This was one I brought up earlier, and I'm gonna pigeonhole us into one. You're going out tomorrow. It's 65 degrees on the lake. Water temperature is 58 degrees. Let's say let's back up. We're still cold here. We go out tomorrow and it's 55 degrees. Water temperature is 48, 49 degrees. Okay. Early spring fishing for us here in the Midwest, you can only bring one lure. What are you bringing?
Are we smallmouth or largemouth?
Jig.
You can pick and just say, okay. Yeah, because that's a good one.
What did you?
I'm gonna say jerkbait, suspending jerkbait. That way I can cover either. But yeah, that's a good point. I'm primarily largemouth fishing here. So
okay.
Yeah, I would say jig either way, regardless if I'm smallmouth.
Be specific. What kind of jig and how big?
It's the War Eagle.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna throw. It's probably gonna be a black and blue variety. Maybe even one of my favorites, the Okeechobee, just because it's got a little bit of green in there, with the black and the blue, just to break things up a little bit. But yeah, it's gonna be a jig, or I might go total opposite, left field. And it's not the best for early year or ice just out.
No, you can't change. No ifs.
No, it's the same. He has color. I'm just going with the secondary color I would take of like a full on craw. Just like a red, brown, kind of orangey color craw.
Falcon Lake craw.
Yep, something like that.
Actually, that's what I have here. Is this Falcon Lake?
Because with a regular War Eagle jig, I can jig it, I can pop it, I can hop it, I can swim it.
I can run it on the top real quick, like a top water.
There you go.
Something like
that. So for me, largemouth. So early spring, we have to bounce over to Wisconsin to fish ice out largemouth. Because in Minnesota, we don't have the open season until around Mother's Day in May.
You have
if I want to go early ice out to Wisconsin, I got to go fish largemouth over there. And for largemouth fishing, there's two things I always have on my deck early spring, and that's a 3/8 ounce jig, just
a tube.
No, straight flipping jig, 3/8 ounce for going around any kind of emerging or dead vegetation from last year, and a crankbait. For some reason, a mid-range depth crankbait does really well in the spring. So I'll have a crankbait rod and a jig rod, and that's pretty much all I'll use early spring largemouth.
What's your mid-range? What kind of depth are you talking?
I love the Jackal MR. There's a what's the name of it?
MR6.
Is that it? No, there's a Jackal MC60. So the Jackal MC60 is my spring crank. Like that's the one I usually have like tied up, ready to go. An early ice out up in Minnesota, specifically Wisconsin. So
I thought the same thing, Hammer.
So yeah, MC60 crankbait or a 3/8 ounce jig like Dizzle. The jig is awesome in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
You can find any dead vegetation or emerging vegetation anywhere there's some grass kind of somewhere, either dead or starting to grow. The jig is game on.
Oh, MR, that's what I was thinking of calling. Yeah.
Smallmouth, though, is really easy. A black hair jig right at ice out is all you need.
I've never thrown a hair jig. I've never thrown one. I don't think I've ever even owned one.
A straight black marabou hair jig with a little chunk of Senko on it is literally all I will use early ice on smallmouth, because they're hanging out in their wintering holes and they're starting to pull up onto certain points or flats, and you can just kind of hang around those areas. Throw the super light, ridiculously nothing hair jig, let it sink down a little bit, and just slow retrieve. And smallmouth will see it from the deep, and they will just come up and just whack and grab it. The black marabou hair jig is an amazing early spring smallmouth bait. Doesn't matter where you throw it. If you know where they are, they will see it and they will go eat it. Like it's just a really fun bait to fish early ice.
Okay, Jason. So we're gonna move on from spring. Ooh, and I'm opening it up. So I'm opening up time of year. You can pick your favorite time, doesn't matter. But it's your only one go-to confidence bait. So you've got to pick one. So I'm saying all year you only get to take one bait. You're so confident in it. And this might be out of left field, crazy answer from Randy again, but
my
answer is very easy. What do you got, Randy?
No, you go ahead. I mean,
I know you're gonna say a jig.
No, I don't know as if I I want to say a jig. I 100% want to say a jig. But
we got Paul.
At the same time,
we got Paul Glass up in here.
I had
Ollie in here.
Yeah, I saw him commenting.
I had crazy confidence last year with the free rig, and actually, honestly, the year before as well.
You're free rigging?
Like free rig. I don't. Yeah. I'm free rigging 100%.
He's big. Yeah, he's big on the free rig, man. He
like there's just something about it. It's you get a semi benefit of a jig, kind of type of fishing. You get that Texas rig type of fishing, but on the other hand, it's totally different than everything that you've thrown before.
Tell me about your free rig setup. I want to hear about this.
As far as what, like
rod reel line.
Oh God, what have been?
I'm gonna go pee real quick.
I know
we'll talk free rigs. You go pee.
It's been a Corrado, and I think I was throwing it on my St. Croix Bass X.
So you're doing it at casting?
Yes, casting.
Okay.
And it's been a little bit heavier. I want to say the weight was, God, what was it? It wasn't a quarter. I'm really limited on the free rig weights that I have because it's either been the weights that DEBO'S given me or
so like a half probably or a quarter.
Yeah, a little bit. It's less than a half. Yeah, somewhere it's a
probably 3/8.
Maybe yes. Actually, I have a bunch of 3/8, and then usually like a straight shank hook, like a regular just like worm hook. Everybody's gonna roast me for this, but I really like the Guggen Squad hammer hooks.
Okay.
Everybody like the chat just exploded right now.
No one's gonna roast you. Trust me, you're good.
It's the Guggen Squad hammer hooks. They I don't know. I like how solid they are, but it's a straight worm shank hook.
Okay.
And usually what I've been going with is some sort of like beaver creature type of bait. 13 Fishing has, what is it called? The rabbit or something like that.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find it real quick, but that's usually been you're
free rigging on a medium baitcaster setup essentially.
Yeah, it's a medium. Is it a medium or it's a medium heavy? But I know the St. Croix, for me anyway, tend to run a little bit lighter.
They are way lighter. Lighter. Yeah. Okay. This is interesting. I love hearing about this because so when I free rigging for me is always spinning. And I usually go with a 2 or 3/0 EWG hook to usually a 3/8 ounce slip weight. And then I'm usually throwing some kind of Finesse plastic on the back. And I'm usually using the Megabass. Shout out to the Megabass people. The Megabass P5 Windbuster is a really, really amazing free rig spinning rod. So I'm usually free rigging on light tackle. But the cool thing about free rig is you can do it, and you can go heavy, you can go light. It doesn't matter. Like free rigging is really a technique. It doesn't matter what.
Yeah, it's just it's been like when I first started. I don't remember who brought it up to begin with originally, and I feel bad about that because it's been like a game changer for me anyway.
Rigging has always been a walleye thing. So like you literally have a slip sinker with some live bait coming off of it. And then you open up the bail on your spinning reel and you just let it sit there with like a sucker or a shiner on the back. And then a fish will grab it and start pulling line off of your spool. And then you'll literally like click the spool, reel down, and it set the hook. Like this whole like free rig thing is like what walleye people for years have called rigging, right? For live bait, like a leech or a shiner or something. And now bass people are like, we free rig, and walleye guys are like, we've been doing this for 20 years. Like,
is this like the Minnesota guys calling it a jig worm and everybody else is just throwing it on a jig head?
Hey, Debo, pull up Tackle Warehouse 13 Fishing rabbit.
Don't yell at me.
Rabbit ear tail invader.
Okay. So the free rig is awesome. I catch a ton of smallmouth on the free rig, but usually on a spinning setup with a little lighter than what you're doing. But basically the same concept. So that's awesome.
For whatever reason, it seems to be just like they seem to want it a little bit more. Well, not more. They want it differently than what they want a jig. I feel like a jig will give you a good amount of like balled up movement. But a free rig, I feel like you get more of a flaily type of less pinned down movement because you have that, the weight that just slides up and down the hook or up and down the line,
Yeah. You can free rig any plastic. It doesn't matter. You can free rig a Senko, you can free rig a creature bait, you can free rig a crab bait. Like you can literally put anything in the back of a free rig.
Oh, slow down, Debo. Right there, was it? Yep.
I don't want to talk about my favorite free rig bait because it's hard to get.
Is that the one I said, the rabbit ear tail invader, the 425?
This is rabbit ear tail wobble.
Yeah, I've used that one, not as good.
Oh, here, this one. Yeah, and they got some funky names. 13 Fishing Rabbit Ear Tail Invader.
That's a mouthful. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Rabbit Tear Tail Invader.
They've only got 3 colors.
Yeah,
the Royal Irishman.
Yeah,
the Royal Irishman. What? Who comes up with this?
The color I use.
Hey, Randy's selling some
whitey tighties.
Randy's selling some unopened boxes of whitey tighties.
Debo, you got another
line. That looks like that Megabass color.
Debo, you got another donation.
I'll give a high five to 13 for coming up with good names. Royal Irishman is a fantastic name for a plastic.
Really Eric cool. D. Great live with the $10 bomb. Eric, thank you, brother. Hey, we've been going for 2 hours and 15 minutes. This has been shenanigans and side quests afoot.
We still have like 300 people watching.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Bassless Chap's been banned. Well, I'm sorry. That's Randy getting click happy again. Can't help you there.
I have not. I didn't do that.
Oh, you're getting some super chats. Thanks, Eric.
Yes, thank you, my friend. Let's see. So I will say I did try the free rig. I did catch some fish on it. And I was kind of the same as Randy, using it as a flipping and pitching. Somebody asked about, I was going to look at something plastic in my mind, ADHD head. Anyway, I don't know what I was going to look at. Yeah, I know, dude, I'm really, really bad at that. Now I forgot what I was even saying. The other thing that I'm in absolute shambles. So I was going to look up a plastic. And then what was I saying? I was flipping and pitching it. So I don't even know. Now I forgot the other thing. I don't know. Now both of them have lost.
All right.
The other thing was somebody was asking about.
I'm going to drop my super secret. I'm going to drop my super secret smallmouth free rig bait into chat. So okay, Debo, go to the hookup tackle. All right, I don't want to talk about this because it's hard to get this bait in stock, but I have a pretty good supply of these at this point. So Debo, go to the hookup tackle. He's
like Rich. Rich only tells me about the good sales on Omnia after he's already bought all of his goodies, and he's like, "Oh yeah, by the way,
right, I'm gonna drop a nugget. If you're a smallmouth fisherman, this is a bait you probably should free rig. Go to the hookup tackles website, Debo. I will guide you here.
Hold on. I'm getting there.
So do you want to share also, Debo? Just saying.
I am. Yeah. Yep. I had to close out and do the new one.
We've made it this far into the live. I'll give you a nugget.
And Punch, if you want to, you can send me some of these just to test out, just to see if they work well or not.
So go to the search and type in Vibra, Vibra. Right there. This bad boy gets crunched by smallmouth. It is so, I don't know what it is. I see
all kinds of bugs that look like this in the water, like nymph. So
this local Vibra is an amazing smallmouth free rig bait. Like if you're gonna go,
that's what I mean. Like
smallmouth, you're gonna free rig.
I feel it's like a good natural looking, like buggy crawy thing.
This thing neat. I've caught so many fish on this bait in the last 2 years. Like it is an amazing plastic. I don't want to tell because hookup gets them in and then they sell out and then I can't get them for a while. But I'm pretty stocked up on these things. But like this is, if you're a smallmouth fisherman and you have fish that have seen a lot of plastics, like this thing is legit. It gets crunched. I love this bait. It's my favorite.
It's very Hellgrammite-ish.
Yes,
number of them in stock.
Yeah. You ever seen like a real life Hellgrammite before?
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's like I feel like it's a very natural.
I use a 3/0 EWG on a free rig for this thing with probably about a 3/8 ounce free rig, 3/0 EWG on a
pricey though, $2 a plastic.
They're expensive. They're like $10.
Yeah, you're not paying for, if you're paying for something different, sometimes you got to do that.
Anyway,
I like that.
Fiber shrimp is bad.
Never seen such a thing.
The shrimp baits are really overlooked. Like the shrimp baits are really popular in Japan, not super popular here, but they absolutely get bit.
Timco's another brand people don't realize they make a lot of baits. Oh, I thought he was.
Damn, I can't stop thinking about Helgramites now. Thanks, dude. Nightmares tonight.
They are. Does it have a shrimp smell?
God. With all the little creepy arms sticking out everywhere.
And the giant murder pinchers.
Murder pinchers. That's great.
God. Oh, there was one night.
Okay, so somebody asked, does it have a shrimp smell or a squid smell?
It just gets bit. I just throw it and
go smell it. Oh God, earwig. Dude, I absolutely cannot stand earwigs. Our old place was like riddled with them. It's crazy how many.
There was a night that me and old Johnny went out to try to slay some carp real late at night off of like an overpass, like throwing super heavyweight down onto the river. And like some guys down the way, and he's like fishing Helgramite for something. I have no idea what he's fishing for, but then like we literally look down at the ground, and mind you, this is in Waterloo, Iowa. There's just Helgramite everywhere, all over the ground, and I'm like, oh Helgramite, I got to get out of here because these things are
Helgramite. No,
Helgramite.
These things are murderers.
That's like a Batman 1960s reference. Oh, Helgramite.
Man.
Ugh, yeah, earwigs are disgusting.
Bassless Chaps wants to know, Debo.
Ken, thank you for becoming a member, my friend. So
nice.
Earwigs or tornadoes?
Yes, which one? Answer now. You have a choice.
Neither. None of the above. Okay, well, I think we are over. I was going to ask the last question, but we are so far down the rabbit hole of side quests, tangents, tomfoolery, Travis mockery.
Hey, is Paul still in here? Paul, this would have broken every type of AAA podcast that there's ever been on side tangents ever on this one tonight.
Yeah, the side tangent counter would have been.
I'm enamored by your Miller High Life sign.
You like that?
Oh, I love that. Champagne and beers, baby. That is so cool.
The thing's huge. It's metal, whole nine.
I'm a fan.
Okay. All right, do we even answer this one?
Which one?
Oh yeah, you nerds. This is how we got on the whole free rig talk.
Confidence. No, okay, let's go.
You said one bait. I said free rig. Punch and I just went off on a tangent.
I remember the other thing I was thinking. So when I was
going to go get something. Oh, that's what it was.
I had an epiphany.
Okay,
listen. Hear me out. Hold on. Hear me out before I forget it again. I go out to my molds, make a do-it mold of a finesse jig, the War Eagle finesse jig clone. I use my nippers to cut it off so there's just a little bit of lead on the hook, just to give it a little bit of weight. I tie you a little finesse jig and then you free rig it.
Okay.
But it's probably going to break, yeah?
No. Why would it break? What do you mean it would break? Because I made it?
Explain that one more time. I took it as you poured a mold with the hook in there and then you cut it at the head. Did I miss that? I missed something in there.
I'll make one and catch, outfish you on it and make a video of it. And
outfish you on it. Nice.
Yeah. Then you'll be upset that I beat you. Okay. So Randy said free rig.
Randy said free rig. What do you say is your confidence bait?
Oh man, I'm trying to think. Go ahead. If you know yours, I think you already said you know yours. So go ahead.
Mine is 100% a Ned rig. Like you just give me a Ned rig and put me on the lake, I will catch something. Like I will catch bass, I'll catch crappie. I don't care. Like I'm a ninja with a Ned rig. If you just give me a Ned rig and a spinning rod, I will find something to eat it.
That was
100% my confident bait.
That was probably going to be mine. Like if we're talking fun confidence bait around here, but it's not going to work everywhere, I would say frog. Like simply because I love to fish it
But sometimes we're not interested in the frog.
Well, and some lakes are just like not good for the frog. Yeah, I feel like same as you, like the Ned rig, you can find a spot in a lake to like, even especially with the EWG Ned rigs, you can throw them around brush. Like it's not an issue.
We don't really have brush. So in Minnesota, you can't technically make brush piles in your lakes. So like people still do it, but you're not supposed to put man-made structures into Wisconsin. You can go nuts with brush piles, but Minnesota, you're not supposed to. So we don't really have like brush pile fishing.
Yeah, it depends on the lake here. Yeah. And a lot of them, they do that. Like, so we have the DNR here. We'll like do the lake maps where they drop and like purposely put brush piles and stuff like fish hides, and you can find that stuff. So yeah, you know what? Fine, I'll fold. I'll be sheeple, and I'll go Ned rig too, because Ned rigs are amazing. So, all right. Well, listen, we're getting out of here. For anybody that doesn't know Punch, awesome show tonight. Punch, where can they find you? Are you punch fishing on all your social things?
Yeah, punch fishing on YouTube, punch fishing on Instagram. Also, I just want to shout out, we have a we have a Facebook group. Are you guys in it? I don't see you guys ever posting it.
I don't do Facebook at all.
Okay, so we have a Facebook group that is specific to, I've been pushing this a little more lately. We have like 1,900 people in it. It's a Facebook group that is just specifically online sales of any fishing tackle. So anytime like Academy or Cabela's or anyone has like some kind of sale and some kind of deal, it's called Bass Fishing Deal Hunters is the name of our group. I started it like with like 20 people, and now we're up to almost 2,000. So if you're on Facebook, just search for Bass Fishing Deal Hunters and send a request to join. It's a private group of people, but it's all bass fishing nerds who are always looking for some kind of sale, promotion,
that's pretty sweet
deal. So I would say Instagram, YouTube, obviously, but if you're on Facebook, hit us up on Bass Fishing Deal Hunters is the name of the group.
Cool.
Dizzle, you should get in there.
I don't use the book.
Yeah, he's probably already out trying to rip off my idea of a free rigged finesse jig. So listen,
hey, also I gotta say,
don't be mad at me when I outfish you.
Hey,
but the thing about our Facebook group is it's community driven. So anybody can make a post if they find some cool deal on some random website or something's on sale. So it's not like me just putting out deals. It's a community driven. So everyone can post and throw out anything they find that's cool on the internet. So if you're a tackle addict and you want to save a few bucks, join our group.
Hey, did you guys just realize that there's still like 278, almost 300 people in here watching these shenanigans that have been going on for 2.5 hours?
Shenanigans afoot. It was a fun night. So listen, almost 2.5 hours in. Love you guys. Everybody that continues to watch these lives every Saturday night means a lot to us. So we're getting out of here. Thanks for watching. And again, until next Saturday,